7:30 a.m. It was an average morning in Konoha, the village hidden in the leaves, when a young Naruto Uzumaki awakens from a slumber to the monotonous beeping of an alarm. He had seemed to just fallen asleep right when it rang too. Ah, damn it, just when it was starting to get good too, he thought, slightly blushing at his dirty dream. Whatever perverted thoughts the newly aged 12-year-old boy had seemed to have disappear quickly as he realized today was his birthday, was in fact today. Normally, a child's birthday should be filled with enjoyment and what some would call pure happiness. Naruto's, however, was filled with hate and pure malice. It served only as a reminder that nobody loved him or enjoyed his existence. That as long as he lived, the people around him would never feel safe. And the worst part about it was the fact that he didn't know why. He would wonder every year why he was considered less than dirt to no avail. To soften the crippling blow that it would do to him, he would serve himself his favorite kind of instant ramen noodles, get whatever treat he had in his pantry, and sing himself happy birthday. Each time, it would only strengthen his resolve to fulfill his dream to one day become Hokage and prove to the whole wide world that he was worthy of acknowledgement. Once the boy was finished with his breakfast, he would proceed to freshen up, dress up in his iconic orange jumpsuit, and leave his apartment to head for his academy training. Not that it ever helped him. All the teachers knew who he was and proceeded to make the training impossible for even a high-ranked genin to complete. Quizzes that would require an adept understanding of trigonometry and algebra, physical tests that would break the bones of regular people, having to spar against fully fledged Chunin and Jonin teachers. It pained him every day, and it had no end in sight. Just as Naruto entered the academy gates, two men could be spotted in a distant alley. They had been waiting for Naruto to enter. Just as the gate closed, he spoke. "This is it. Tonight's the night. At dark, we'll get our vengeance for mother and father when that demon killed them that night 12 years ago." He said roughly, "That's right, brother. By the time we're finished with him, he'll know the true meaning of pain and suffering." The other man chuckled. He knew what he was going to do, and by the end of the night, the demon will be dead by his own hands. Naruto had opened the door to his class to see his classmates at their seats preparing themselves for class. Immediately to his left, he spotted Shikamaru Nara speaking to one Choji Akimichi who was feasting away at a bag of barbecue potato chips. A little further than them was a group of three that consisted of Kiba Inuzuka, Shino Aburame, and Hinata Hyuga. Kiba was arguing intensely how his puppy sidekick Akamaru was better than all the bugs that Shino carried with him. Shino just disputed him with cold hard facts and logic, saying that his insects far outclassed Inuzuka dogs in usefulness. While Hinata seemed to be staring at Naruto, but every time he would look at her, she would look away and blush profusely. He figured it was nothing to worry about and pretended to not notice. But in the back of his mind, he thought she was just like the villagers and she could never get over her hate for him, so he tended to avoid her to avoid that conflict with her. Then, there was Sasuke Uchiha, a black-haired boy who was the last of his clan. Because of that fact, Sasuke seemed to think he was better than everyone else, and Naruto hated that quality about him. He knew from the first day he met him his arrogance will be the one to cause him to fall. But otherwise, Naruto could relate to him because they both had no parents, and deep down he knew that there was an innocent boy just who wanted to be free. The Uchiha massacre caused him to grow up too early. Because of that, Naruto felt sorry for him. He somewhat considered Sasuke to be a friend, though he'll never admit it. Next to Sasuke was his fan club, which were comprised of two members, a blonde Yamanaka named Ino who was loud, boisterous, and prideful. Next to Ino, however, was Naruto's boyhood crush, Sakura Haruno, who was in his eyes a beautiful, pink-haired, green-eyed wonder of a girl who came from the heavens. As soon as Naruto's eyes meet the pink of her hair, he was reminded of the greatest cherry blossom tree in the midst of spring, and oh, how soothing that feeling was. He was instantly reminded of his dream this morning and smiled for the first time that day. Something about just her made him happy, and he would always enjoy her presence in class. A ringing bell broke Naruto's chain of thoughts as he snapped back to reality to begin class. As Naruto sat down, he heard a familiar voice that relieved him of the stress he could have had that day. All right, class, settle down. Today we will be learning about the past Hokage and the history of Konoha, said one Chunin instructor named Irika. Naruto considered Irika to be the only actual teacher in the academy that was worth respecting. Irika had always treated him fairly and gave actual assignments he could do. But Irika-sensei, we already learned enough about the past Hokage and the village. When are we going to learn something cool like a jutsu? Exclaimed one annoyed Kiba. And we will learn it 1,000 times over again, Kiba. Discipline and patience are core values of being a ninja, lest you forget that. Besides, if we don't learn from the past, how do we expect to improve and do better in the future? Stated Irika without missing a beat. Oh man, I just want to learn a jutsu, pouted Kiba. Class proceeded as normal with Naruto jotting down mental notes in his brain about the past Hokage. He had already studied them before, but it didn't hurt to reinforce that knowledge and get some things he missed. For example, he learned that actually Shodame's granddaughter is actually a part the Leaf's legendary Sannin, and her name is Tsunade Senju. On the subject of the Sannin, who can tell the names of the other remaining Sannin? Irika questioned to his students. Me. Pick me, Irika-sensei, started Sakura while vigorously raising her hand. Okay, Sakura, who are they? Questioned Irika, expecting a fully fledged answer from the Pinkette. Okowo. Well, there is Jiraiya the Toad Sage, and then there is... She was cut off. That traitorous bastard Orochimaru, a young woman said whilst entering the room. Many of the students turned their heads to spot a young woman in her 20s wearing a fishnet shirt under a large tan trench coat. Anko, nice of you to drop by. I suppose you're here to do your IT presentation to the students? Irika laughed nervously. Yep, I'm here to show these brats all about my favorite subject, torture, Anko said in a disturbingly cheery voice. I'll just leave you to it then. Class, please treat Mississippi Mitarashi with the same respect as you do me. Irika stated, even more nervous than before. Please try to be civil for even a little, while I really don't want to write a report out of the students. Irika whispered to Anko as he made his leave. What? Me and the kids will get along just fine. Don't you worry about a thing. As soon as the door closed, Anko began to speak. Now, what do you gakis know about the torture and interrogation department? She asked with no response out of the frightened children. Monotakers? Well, how about you? She pointed towards Naruto. Within a fraction of a second, she had disappeared and reappeared behind Naruto. With a kunai in her hand, she cut Naruto's cheek and licked the wound with the dripping blood. Go on, don't be shy. She spoke with a harsh tone in her voice at the end. The IT department specializes in extracting information out of Konoha's prisoners of war, using whatever means necessary to get the truth. Naruto said quickly and mumbling over his words. Good. She once again spoke in an overly happy voice. Now that you know what it is, let me explain the basics of interrogation. Anko would teach the class the basics of the human psyche and how it operated and how to use it to bend a victim to one's will. Naruto felt rather odd over the encounter with Anko. On one, and he felt fear from being on the other end of a kunai at his face. However, he noticed her eyes. They were a lot like his. Not in the sense of physical appearance, but what masked the eyes try to hold up. Naruto recognized it all too well, since he wears the same one too. Naruto should try to get to know her. Maybe she knows how to deal with the pain of being an outcast. It was towards the end of the day now, and he was outside with the rest of his class at the school training grounds. Naruto was sitting alone at the benches when Sasuke and his fan club comes up to him. What's the matter, dope? Sad that you'll never be as good as me? Don't make me laugh. You'll never be as good as an Uchiha. Sasuke laughed at Naruto. Hey, what's your problem, Sasuke? Why don't you buzz off to your fan club and leave me alone? Oh, you mean them? They're nothing but worthless trash. Sasuke boasted, knowing he would get on Naruto's nerves. Don't talk about Sakura like that, you idiot. Naruto insulted towards Sasuke. Fine, let's make bet, dope. We'll fight each other If I win, you have to say whatever I want you to say about your Sakura right to her face. And if I win, you won't. But since you asked, it will be the same for me. So deal. Deal. Both combatants got into their fighting stances, which were the same since they knew only one from the academy. Neither of them were experts, but they had decent taijutsu for their ages. Naruto lunged first, aiming for Sasuke's shoulder, but was blocked by the Uchiha's arm. Sasuke tried then to counter, but Naruto dodged at the right time. The fight went on for several minutes each of them, trying to outlast the other, but both had amazing stamina and speed. At this point, the fight had attracted the attention of mostly every student there and the attention of one IT specialist who was hiding away in the trees. So this is that Gaki from before. Let's see if he's any good or not. Anko had been enjoying the fight and seeing what the future generation of shinobi would be like. That's when she saw signs of Sasuke becoming tired and frustrated. He was lowering his guard due to exhaustion and had lost focus. That's when Naruto punched him as hard as he could, causing Sasuke to fall down onto the ground. OHHH, the crowd erupted, thinking it was all over. Is that all you got? Asked Naruto, breathing hard. Ouch, that's gotta hurt. Anko chuckled to herself. Sasuke was now beyond furious. He couldn't believe he let himself get hit so hard by the dead last. He picked himself up and let his anger fuel his next actions. You're so dead, Naruto, Sasuke responded. Sasuke pulled out a kunai from a pouch and brandished it with the intent to kill. Sasuke, what are you doing? This wasn't part of the bet. To hell with that. You're going to die, Sasuke shouted as he lunged at him, kunai in hand. Naruto dodged with his body, trying to avoid the sharp blade. Naruto was worried he could get seriously hurt, but Sasuke seemed to be attacking with rhythm or style, just swinging randomly. Meanwhile, Anko was contemplating intervening, but she wanted to see how the Gaki could handle himself when his life is on the line. Even though Sasuke was fighting blindly, Naruto was growing tired and couldn't last much longer. Sasuke finally managed to slash Naruto on his shoulder. Naruto felt the warm blood drip down and soak up in his jumpsuit. Only then Iruka happened by and noticed the commotion. He immediately ran to, disarmed, and pinned Sasuke to the ground. Sasuke, what the hell do you think you're doing? You could have killed him, Iruka shouted with a newfound strength from protecting his favorite student. That was the point. He deserved it. Still, Sasuke, we don't draw weapons on comrades, no matter who they are. Iruka calmed down once he determined Sasuke was no longer a threat to Naruto. Sasuke remained quiet once realized he'd done wrong. Naruto, are you okay? Let's get you patched up, Iruka asked with a protective voice. It hurts, but I'll be fine. Naruto instinctively felt his wound to realize it was already closed up, just a scar remained. Iruka then set out into the crowd. All right, all of you, class is dismissed, go home. Everyone left, leaving only Sasuke, Iruka, and Naruto. All right, now what am I going to do with you two? Iruka sighed. Iruka then took the two boys into Hokage's office. Normally, this wouldn't be normal procedure, but since the Hokage was Naruto's adoptive grandson, since he knew his parents so well. Hokage-sama, I'm sorry to disturb, it's about Naruto, Iruka said respectively. Yes, I know what happened. Please come in, Hiruzen said with a frown. How did you KN? He was cut off. An old man has his ways. Anyway, let's discuss what happened. He responded with a smirk. Well, it seems to me that Naruto and Sasuke entered an agreement with each other, and once Naruto had beat him, Sasuke lost his temper and drew a weapon on him with intent to kill. Iruka said, Yes, I agree. Hiruzen nodded. Now for your punishment. Lucky for both of you, I was told of your fight showed a high degree of skill for the both of you, so I'll let you off with a warning. But don't take my kindness for weakness, because if this happens again, you will regret it. Is that understood? The Hokage spoke with a voice demanding respect. Yes, sir, Naruto and Sasuke responded in unison. As both left the office to return home, Sasuke spoke to Naruto. Naruto, I'm sorry, he said slowly, He was never good with apologies. I shouldn't have lost it like that, and I want to let you know that. Ever since I lost my family, I've felt like pressure to become stronger to avenge my clan, but it seems in doing that I lost sight of what matters. Sasuke looked down and shed a tear. He may have been a prideful Uchiha, but he was still a boy. Sasuke, it's okay. I understand I felt that way too at one point. But right now, let's help each other get stronger instead of pushing each other down. Got it. Naruto held out his hand in a handshake that looked like an arm wrestle. You bet. Sasuke spoke proudly and met the handshake with his own hand. Two major events happened because of that incident. One is where a bond of friendship like no other was born, and second is where a fire was rekindled inside his heart, and it burned twice as bright as it did before in his boyhood days. It was now approaching dusk, and Naruto was on his way back home. But what he didn't notice was Shadow following him. Anko was on the rooftops following the boy head home. She had taken a liking to the brat. He reminded her of herself when she was younger, fighting the toughest people just to prove to herself she was worthy of respect of her peers. She had been dazed in her flashback, so long she completely lost Naruto. Shit, where did that Gaki go? Naruto had just took the final turn to his building and could see his home in sight when he was suddenly grabbed and thrown into an alley. Hello, little demon, one of two men spoke. We're going to make you suffer for what you did, the other said. Naruto was paralyzed with fear. There was two ninja with black masks in front of him who were going to kill him, and there was nothing he could do. He was too weak from fighting Sasuke to put up any form of resistance. Then one of them pulled out a large baton that's spiked and rough-edged. Wait, please. I haven't done anything wrong, said a quivering Naruto with tears in his eyes. He doesn't know, does he? Oh, well, let me explain to you why you're going to die before you go back to hell. Call it your last request. It all started 12 years ago when the Kyuubi attacked the village and when a Yondaime supposedly killed it. The Yondaime sacrificed his life to protect his village from the monster that was destroying it. The problem is there is no way to kill a tailed beast. The best anyone can do is just seal it into a newly born baby. Guess who that baby was? You. Now, what do you understand? Why we all hate you. Why we fear you. Why we want you to return to hell from where you came. Naruto's world shattered. All this time, he was the demon that killed almost the whole village long ago, and it was all his fault. He deserved to die. He wanted to die. He now knew why the villagers hated him, why Hinata stared at him, why Sakura-chan would never love him, why he had no one to turn to. It's because he hurt them all. Warning, gore ahead. Naruto couldn't finish his down-spiraling chain of thought when the men started to attack him using fire and lightning jutsu to burn and electrocute him, melting off his skin. Then the beatings came. The baton from before would smash into knee, completely shattering it. All that was heard were the screams of a broken boy being beaten and the sounds of men laughing in vengeance. There was no hope for him. Naruto's hand was grabbed and placed outward. All he could do was watch as the hammer came down onto his hand and destroyed it. Then when it seemed it was over, Naruto, fading in and out, consciousness from the pain was placed on his back and his head supported so he could watch a kunai being stabbed in the chest and body over 20 times, each time being more drawn out and slow than the last. The final stab was placed right towards the seal on his lower body. Gore end. The two men laughed as saw a burned, battered, and broken Naruto lie bleeding out and sobbing, somehow remaining awake by some miracle. All they said was good riddance as they left the alley, leaving Naruto to die. Naruto could only think of all the people that hated him. He kept sobbing because of that. He thought that this is how his final day on Earth would be. He would never be Hokage, the village will forget him, and that all he was just the dead last brat that died early. 5 minutes later, Anko had still been searching for him when she heard the faint sounds of a child crying. She would have to hurry up if she wanted to find Naruto, but the cries and sobs wouldn't allow her to leave, so she turned to investigate. Damn my bleeding heart, she mumbled to herself as she was just about to turn into the alley. What she saw next, however, shocked her to the core. She could see him there, Naruto, laying in a pool of blood. Naruto! She cried out to him as she rushed to his side. When he saw her face, his final piece of willpower keeping awake broke. He fell unconscious into her arms that were carrying him into the nearest hospital. He was bleeding out fast. Even with the QB's chakra working to save his lifeline, if he wasn't given proper medical treatment fast, he would die. Anko burst through the doors of the medical center, grabbing the attention of many doctors and nurses. She stood there for a second when she broke the silence and said, "I need a goddamn doctor right now." Two nurses rushed towards her with a gurney and helped Naruto onto it. Anko then threatened, "This boy is now your lifeline. If he dies, you die. Clear? Now go." The nurses gulped and turned to run him into the ER. Inside a flooded chamber. Time. Naruto gasped for air and felt his body, but felt no wounds. He then took a look at his surroundings. He was in some kind of chamber. Then suddenly he thought, am I dead? Is this heaven? Or is this hell? Naruto felt a chill at that thought. He was a demon. After all, maybe this was his hell for eternity. "Naruto, come to me, Naruto." A chilling voice rang out in an echo. "What? Scratch coming to you. Who are you?" Naruto spoke, hoping he didn't know the answer. "I will explain later. Now go through those doors." Naruto turns to see a double door set. "Okay, I'll trust you, but you better not be the Shinigami tricking me into your clutches," Naruto joked, trying to ease his own nerves and the intensity of the situation. "Funny. A fresh change of pace from the last human I knew," it responded. Naruto opened the doors to see a vast, empty room that seems to a cell for someone or something. Then something appears behind the bars. A fox, but not any fox. This fox was bigger than famed Akimichi Super Expansion Jutsu. "Wow, you're a big fella, aren't you?" Naruto joked until he realized who he was talking to. The beast laughed. "Even in the face of Kyuubi no Kitsune, you still laugh. You are a bold one, Naruto." The fox spoke, slightly calming Naruto's nerves to say this to his face. You're the reason why everyone hates me, you bastard." Naruto shouted. He found himself in front of the being responsible for making his life a living hell, and demon or no demon, he sure as hell isn't backing off from him. "You can hate me, Naruto, I understand why, but please let me tell you the whole truth before you give me your whole judgment. You got 5 minutes, better make him count." Naruto spoke, holding back all the anger that he could muster. "Thank you. 12 years ago, I attacked Konoha, that much is true. But I never meant to attack your village. I was under the Sharingan Jinjutsu of Madara Uchiha," the fox spoke quickly. Naruto knew who Madara was, became increasingly upset when they realized the fox was pulling his leg. "I sense your doubt. I assure you, it was Madara. He is the only one who could have the willpower to dominate mine and place me under his jutsu." "Okay, you told me your side. I need to think about this first. I'll let you know my choice when we next speak. But for now, how do I get out of here?" "Thank you, Naruto. All I ask for is chance. But to answer your question, it's simple. Just wake up," the fox answered plainly. "Really? That's it?" "Yes, it is that simple." "Okay, then well, before I go, one more thing. What is your name?" "My name? Have funny. After 1,000 years of my existence, no mortal has yet asked me of my name. You surprise me still." "Very well. My name is Kurama." "Goodbye then, Kurama," Naruto said with a smile. Konoha General Hospital. 9:30 a.m. Naruto wakes up feeling groggy and weak. Everything hurts for him right now. He looks towards the left and is met with a blinding sunlight. Squinting, he turns away from the blinds to spot a sleeping woman in the chair to the right. "Huh? Who are you? Wait a minute. She's that woman from before." Naruto sits up when he realizes all the commotion woke Anko up. YWN asterisk. Anko's eyes lock to Naruto's and open up. "You're awake." She runs to his side and hugs him. Naruto was dumbfounded here. He was the most hated person in Konoha, and a person he barely knew had saved him from death and had slept in a hospital waiting for him to recover. "But why?" he asked her. "What do you mean?" she asked back. "Why did you save me?" He asked, expecting her answer to be a selfish response. Because I care about you. Gaki, don't ask such stupid questions, she told him, looking at him with a confused face. Really? You really care about me? Of course, Gaki, I really do care about you. Now, if you keep saying these things, I'm going to knock you out again. Naruto felt an emotion he's never felt before. It felt so nice. He'll never forget when he found his first friend, when he learned he really was important. Naruto, now overwhelmed with happiness, hugged Anko and began to bawl into her chest. She only hugged him tighter and shed a tear because she finally found someone to let go of her mask to. The only words he managed to say before he fell asleep, due to the sheer emotion overload, was, "Thank you." She only responded with, "You're welcome." And there it goes. I hope you guys enjoyed the chapter. Remember to rate and review. I'd really appreciate it. I'll try to update every week or so if this story kicks off. If you have any suggestions for smaller stories I could write, I'd love to see them. Thank you for reading, and this is RETR0 signing off, October 19th. Konoha General Hospital. Time, 10 a.m. After a full week of rest from the traumatic experience he underwent, Naruto will finally be released from the hospital. Although, he would need crutches to walk as his right knee hasn't fully healed. But Naruto didn't worry about that. He was happy to make it out alive and meet an amazing person that he would cherish for the rest of his days. Anko was to him the nicest person he had ever met. She would tell him stories of her Genin days, bring him Ichiraku ramen when he was hungry, and tell the funniest secrets of his teachers and Jonin senseis. So Yagaki, that's how Irika tried to ask me out. Safe to say, he never felt safe around me with a kunai ever again. Anko spoke, chewing on dango in her mouth. Man, really? He never hear the end of it from me. Naruto laughed, slurping on some ramen. Don't be hard on him, Gaki. We were only kids. Young and dumb, as they say. Anko responded. All right, I guess you're right. Besides, he is the best teacher in the academy. It wouldn't be right to do that. Naruto was still in shock of how this woman was totally different in her personal life, but then again, he was too. He may have seemed to be a juvenile punk who couldn't care less about the rules, but he truly cared about his studies and progression to become a ninja. After signing the necessary paperwork, Naruto was released from the hospital and free to return home, though he would not be able to perform in spars because of his injured leg. So he would have to make it up for it when he got better. But now was not the time to think about that. Naruto limped his way home with Anko. While they were walking, they received ugly stares and overheard murmurs of the demon and snake ore. Naruto couldn't help but wincing at every comment, and he began to despise the villagers even more than before. Not at the insults directed at him, as he was used to it, but at those directed towards Anko. How can anyone say such mean things towards the nicest woman in the world? I promise you, Anko-chan, I'll make them eat their words. He looked at her as he thought. Anko could tell what he was thinking, and when she looked back, she smiled at him. And upon seeing this, Naruto's anger and worry vanished in an instant, like it was never there in the first place. This only added to Naruto's wonder of this so-called nicest woman in the world. As they walked along, they were chatting and kept casual conversation until they reached Naruto's apartment. It's just up here, Anko, he said while reaching for his keys. So this where you live, huh? She said, looking around the worn-down walls and old carpet. Hey, that rent is cheap at least, and it's that bad. He responded to find his door was slightly askewed open. Oh no, he could only say as he opened his to discover a trashed apartment before him. Stay behind me, Naruto. She spoke quickly as she drew a kunai and prepared to enter to the apartment. The smell of burned garbage and burned clothes filled the room. Naruto could only look in shock as room by room, his home had been destroyed. That apartment had been his only safe haven from the outside world, and it was gone, taken away from him within a heartbeat. As Anko finished her search, Naruto looked down in sadness. He didn't cry, he won't cry. He really didn't want to show that side of himself to Anko, but with all the emotions inside, he couldn't help but shed a tear. Seeing this, Anko stooped down to his level and spoke in a loving and all-knowing voice. Naruto, it's okay to cry. I won't judge you for it. Not one bit, okay? Anko hated seeing him like this, the spitting image of herself crying over the same problems she cried over. But she wouldn't let him become like her. She told him to let it out because she knew firsthand of the effects of bottling up one's emotions like that. Naruto let the floodgates loose onto Anko, and she welcomed him with open arms. She knew it would take a lot of work, but she was ready to go the extra mile and back for Naruto. After what seemed like eternity to the both of them, they both stood up high, at least as high Naruto could with his injured knee. Naruto, I want you to see what you can salvage and then pack everything up. It's moving day, Anko said with an upbeat voice. Move? Move to where? Naruto asked with genuine confusion. To my place, of course. Where else would you go? Anko now spoke in a know-it-all voice. No, wait, I couldn't do that to you, Anko. You already have to take care of yourself. I don't want to be burdened like that to you. Naruto countered. Oh, don't worry about it. I promise you, every little thing is going to be all right. Got that? She continued with her chain of positivity. All right. Naruto returned her ray of sunshine with his own. October 26th. Mitarashi Residence. 6 p.m. It had been a full week since Naruto moved into Anko's apartment, but Naruto was finally settling into living with another person. They both agreed to have him sleep on the couch and use a spare wardrobe for his clothes. Naruto, to show his ever-growing gratitude to her, woke every morning very early and made breakfast for her. Although he may not seem like it, he was a very good chef, even though he taught himself. Anko would always remark on as good as food was. He would just shrug it off and pretend it was nothing, though the faintest blush would appear every time he heard her compliments. He would do the same with dinner, too. Anything he could do to help ease the stress off her day, he would happily do, without a doubt. Thanks to the Kyuubi's chakra, Naruto's leg had finally healed, and he was back in tip-top shape. He would soon return to his academy, sparring with his fellow classmates. His relationships with his fellow classmates had been moving up, too. When given the chance, Naruto had the uncanny ability to make friends. He learned all about his classmates, like how Shikamaru was really good at strategy games like chess or shogi, or the story of how Kiba and his dog, Akamaru, met. All in all, Naruto was truly special in bringing others together. Hello, guess who's home? Anko asked after opening the door to the apartment. Hey, over here. Naruto spoke from the kitchen. Hey, what's ya cooking there, Gaki? She asked, smelling a similar aroma that made her excited. You mean what I cooked for you? Oh, it's nothing special, he said sarcastically as he revealed a dish that made Anko's mouth water at the sight of it. No way, she responded giddily, like a little girl on her birthday. Way, he responded confidently. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Anko exclaimed. For each thank you, she gave him a small kiss, with the last being longer than the rest. Unbeknownst to her, however, Naruto was blushing more red than the hottest fire jutsu, and he had a big problem down there. But luckily she was too busy feasting on her delicious dango treats to notice. She couldn't believe that she had found a dango better than the ones she'd spend way too much on at the bar she frequented. She was nearly brought to tears by how much it reminded her of her childhood and the first time she tasted dango. Gaki, she said. Yes, he replied. This was the best dango I've ever had in my life. She spoke awestruck at the pure amazingness of Naruto's cooking. Huh, I'm glad you liked it, he laughed and placed his hand on his neck. Oh, and Gaki, one more thing, she said. Yeah. From now on, I'm going to need to have that dango every day when I come home. Capice? She said, smiling as she went into her room to change out of her trench coat and put on a loose t-shirt. Yes, ma'am, he said laughingly. Naruto on the outside just grinned and took her plate to wash it and store it. But on the inside, he was beaming. He was incredibly happy to serve Anko her favorite treat, and he would be happy to serve her it every day. All right, I knew she would like it, he thought to himself. Now how am I going to make that dango every day? I think I just screwed myself, he sighed, and I hoped you would figure it out. October 27th. Konoha Ninja Cadet Academy. 4 p.m. All right, class, that's it for today. I want you all to start practicing for your Genin exams. Your exam will be in 2 months. I cannot stress this enough. Please practice. Irika said as he prepared to dismiss the class. Yes, Irika-sensei. The class shouted in unison. Okay then, dismissed. Irika said, beckoning Naruto with his hand. Yes, Irika-sensei. Naruto asked. Naruto, I want to let you know to not worry about your exam. I'll make sure you won't be cheated of your Genin status. Thank you, Irika-sensei. It means a lot to me to know that. He smiled. But don't think you're out of the forest yet. You still need to practice the clone jutsu. That is a must-pass. Yes, sir. He spoke, realizing he would still need to work hard to become a Genin. Very well. You may go. Irika said, proud of how far Naruto has grown. Naruto exits the classroom and proceeds to the training ground, hoping to master the clone jutsu to get it out of the way. However, try as he might, he could never get the jutsu down. It would always end up as a pale imitation of Naruto. He tries to funnel more chakra into it to see if that would work, but that only made it worse. Then he placed the tiniest amount of chakra into it. He found to his excitement an actual clone, but his joy was shot down when a clone dissipated after its first step. By process of elimination, he figured the clone received too much chakra and couldn't handle it. He would have to learn better chakra control. Then an idea snapped to his head. Why don't I ask Gigi? He knows a lot about these types of jutsu, he thought. Little did he know he would learn his most iconic jutsu that day. He went into the Hokage tower, past the receptionist, and to the door of the Hokage. Just as he was about to knock, he heard, "Come on in, Naruto," the all-knowing Hokage said. "You know, I always wonder how you know all these things." An old man has his secrets, Naruto, he would always say. That's what you always say, he said. Because it is always true, he chuckled. Well, let's get down to business. What is it that you need? He asked. Okay then. Well, I need help doing the clone jutsu. I seem to always use more chakra than required, and it leads to the clone just being ghostly and pale. I see, he responded. The QB must be giving him loads of chakra to work with, thus his subpar chakra control. Well, Naruto, the problem seems to be your chakra control. Yeah, I figured it would be that. He placed his hand behind his head. Let me think here to see if I could find a solution to your problem here. The old Hokage placed his hand on his chin and shut his eyes. Well, I could just refer him a teacher to train with. No, it would be too difficult to find a non-bigoted ninja to teach him. How about just teach him myself? Again, no. I have too much of a workload to teach him anything. Maybe the jutsu is at fault here. That's it. Instead of using a technique that uses way too little chakra, I'll give him something that uses more chakra. 1,000 pardons, Tobirama-sensei, but I believe this is the time that should pass on one of your most famed jutsu. I've got Naruto. Please watch me for a moment. Okay, he said in anticipation. Shadow clone jutsu. Suddenly, 2 more Hokages appeared out of thin air. Whoa, that's cool. Can you teach me that jutsu? Yes, I can, Naruto, but before I do so, you must promise me not to teach it to anyone else. The Shadow Clone Jutsu is a very powerful technique, so powerful that if it were to get in the wrong hands, it could mean danger to the village. Do you understand? Yes, sir, he said, standing straight. Okay then, now funnel your chakra and create this sign after me. After an hour of practicing, Naruto was finally able to create multiple stable and sufficient shadow clones. Sarutobi was new. Naruto was a fast learner, but was surprised to see a jutsu he mastered in after days of practice was mastered in the same degree an hour. He smiled at the future shinobi and thought about his predecessors and how they would be shocked to see such a feat, especially Tobirama Senju, the man who created the shadow clone technique. Thank you, Gigi. I'm sure to pass the Genin exam now. It is no problem at all, Naruto, but please try to handle these problems on your own. It's not that I don't enjoy your company, but I have too much work to really teach you effectively. Okay, I get it, but couldn't use the shadow clones to do the work for you? Well, anyways, I have to go now. See ya. Hiruzen just sat there cursing himself at his short-sightedness. He palmed his face and chuckled. Well, Tobarama-sensei, I believe we've both been played for fools by a boy who just learned one of the most powerful jutsus ever created. I can't wait to see your face when we meet again in the afterlife. After all, that boy will be the most worthy successor I will ever see. Then for the first time in 20 years, he sat back, relaxed, and summoned 15 clones to let them finish the work. Naruto, after leaving the tower, begins to test his new ability. He decides the best way to do that is to test it against one of his classmates in a spar. He heads to the training ground to see if he could find on of his classmates training and challenge them. He came to the closest training ground to find Shino and Kiba training while Hinata standing close by but not doing anything. He soon greets them. "Hey guys, I see that you're training hard." "Huh," he said. "Hey Naruto." "Yeah, we are." Like Iruka-sensei said, "The exam's just around the corner." Kiba responded. "Yes, indeed. I intend to pass them with flying colors," Shino agreed. "Good, well how about a spar? I want to test out a new jutsu I learned." "Well, I guess you're out of luck. Me and Shino were about to start our own spar. You're welcome to fight the winner, though." "Now I want to fight someone at 100% thanks anyway." "Wait, might I suggest Hinata to spar with you?" "Me? Well, I don't know." She interjected when she heard her name. "Come on, Hinata. You need to get better, too," Kiba argued. "Well, okay. I'll give it my best," she said with a pout. Naruto didn't like Hinata, not because of her eyes, her looks, or skill as a shinobi, because he thought she hated him, which couldn't be further from the truth. Hinata admired his ability to never give up. However, her shyness brought him to think that she was just another one of the people that wouldn't accept him. What confirmed it to him was that when his leg was broken, all his other friends would say their condolences to him and tell him not to worry. Hinata, however, just stood by and watched him while smiling. This led him to believe that she enjoyed watching him in pain. Naruto considered her to be someone to avoid. "Okay, on my mark. 1, 2, 3. Begin," Shino announced, starting the fight. "All right, here we go. Shadow Clone Jutsu." Multiple Narutos appeared out of mid-air and began to surround Hinata. Then they came one by one. Hinata was barely able to fend off a few of them, so she was completely overrun when all of them rushed her. They were punching and kicking. Hinata was only able to block a few hits before she dropped to the ground. "You hate me, don't you? You always stare at me, and I know why. You think I'm a demon, right?" "What do you mean, Naruto?" "Shut it. I'll show you the demon in me." "Naruto, wait. Please don't hurt me. I don't hate you. I like you." She put her hands to cover her face. Naruto paused and realized what he was about to do. All the clones dissipated and Naruto crouched down to hold her. "Hinata, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that to you. I just got caught up in feeling against you. I thought you hated me." "How could I hate you, Naruto? I love your determinedness and how you always keep your promises." I. Now he was the one who was without words. At that moment, he realized how the beautiful Hinata was in his arms and with tears in her eyes from her fear. Her eyes like the purest of snow. Her hair was smooth like a baby's skin. Naruto ran off, unable to handle the guilt he felt. He wiped the tears from his face with one tear sparkling with the light hitting it. "Man, what's with that guy?" Kiba asked, placing his hand on the back of his head. "Naruto." Hinata looked at him as he ran. October 27th. Mitarashi Residence. 6 p.m. Naruto returned home after some thinking. He felt bad for letting his rage and anger get to him like that, especially after he realized it was directed towards the wrong person. He promised himself never to hurt anyone like that again. But he also felt some weird feeling when he thought about Hinata. It was even stronger than what he felt about Sakura. He didn't know what to do. He felt so terrible hurting a friend like that. He thought she was so beautiful. On the other hand, he felt that Hinata deserved someone better than him. Naruto prepared the dango for Anko that night in silence. He would go apologize the next day in class. But for now, something else plagued his mind. The conversation he had with the Kyuubi when he was under the knife. He had not really thought about it at all, but he knew he would have to face it eventually. So he chose to go to someone he trusts, Anko. He would ask her while she was eating her dango. He thought it would go down without much problem, but he would soon realize that he was in for a wild ride of questioning. And on cue, Anko arrived home and said, "Hey Gaki, I'm Bayak. You better have that sweet, delicious, wonderful dango ready by the time change, because if you don't, you are sure going to regret it." She said happily. "Yes, ma'am," he said. He placed the dish and the table and prepares to tell her about his problem. Anko comes out wearing t-shirt and sits at the table and says, "Oh yes, come to mama." She then munches on the dango sticks with no end. Anko, can I ask your opinion on something?" He asks. Sure, Gaki, what's up?" She says, chewing. "Well, I want to tell you that when I was in surgery, when you saved me, I was in a dream state talking to the QB no Kitsune, and I want to ask you if I should believe what he told me." She spat out her food comically and shouted, "What?" "Well, I think he means well, but tell me everything he told you right now." Naruto then received in questioning akin to her interrogation from her. She asked every question that could come to mind, no holds barred. He answered every single one without holding any detail back. Finally, she ends with, "We have to tell Lord Hokage about this." Naruto could only respond with, "I know, but could we save for tomorrow? I'm really tired from everything that happened today." And how could he not be? He woke up, went to the academy, learned a new jutsu from the Hokage himself, got into an emotional struggle with a person he thought hated him, and undergone an hour-long interrogation session with the most feared IT specialist in the village, though she was not going all the way. Anybody would be tired after that. "All right, but you best believe I'm not dropping this. Now, come here, you little cutie, you." She gave him a hug, and when he least expected, picked him up and brought in her room. "You're going to stay right here with me tonight and be my personal huggable boy toy, got that?" Naruto, being an innocent 12-year-old, had no idea what the phrase boy toy meant, so he just rolled with it, only to find out it meant exactly what he thought it meant. All she did was snuggle and hold him tight. He definitely needed after what he'd gone through. It was a good night. And so how was that? Did you like it? Please let me know. To those of you who think Hinata will get in the way of the love between our blonde boy Wonder and the lovely snake temptress, don't worry, I figure out something to nip that bud. Also, you lovely super pervs who want that lemony action but didn't get any at the end, you're in luck, because next chapter, after a certain someone becomes old enough to kill, old enough to drink, they'll have their time lives with their lover. Or, hey, they might not. It all depends on how fast you guys want me to progress the story. Please let me know. But once again, this is RETR0 signing off. Chapter 3. October 28th. Mitarashi Residence. 7 Uhr morgens. Naruto eyes fluttered trying to wake up, but upon opening his eyes completely, he snapped to attention when realized his was face first in between the rather large breasts of Anko Mitarashi. Also, her hands had completely surrounded him, so he had no escape from the rather appealing position he awoke in. Deciding not to test his luck, Naruto carefully looked up to see Anko sleeping rather comfortably. Anko-chan looks so pretty when she is sleeping. I almost want to just go up there and kiss her right now. But she's sleeping right now, and I don't want to disturb her. I guess a hug will be okay. He placed his right arm around her so that his hand touched her back. He then squeezed and nuzzled his head into Anko's chest. From the commotion and the feeling of something at her back, Anko woke to find a puff of blonde hair at her chin and something poking at her chest. "So, the Gaki thinks he could pull one on me, huh? I'm going to make sure he remembers not to take advantage of what he's given." Anko quickly pulls his face in her chest and wraps her legs around him tightly. Naruto starts to squirm over the amount pressure his face is receiving. "Oh, what's the matter? Just wanted you to enjoy the view," she said sarcastically. "MMPH. Can't breathe," was all she could make out in his response. "I'll let you go if you say you're sorry," she spoke, looking down at the cute little blonde before her. "MMPH. I'm sorry," he muffled in defeat. "Good." She released him from his tomb. Naruto gasped for air when he was freed of his entrapment. "Oh, come on, I didn't hold you for that long. Now you best not try that again, or else the consequences will be much more dire." She chastised him. I'm sorry, Anko-chan, I didn't mean it like that. You were just really pretty when you were sleeping, so I wanted to hug you real bad. He spoke looking down. Anko noticed the truthfulness in his voice. Okay, fine, you get off this time. Only because you call me pretty. But if I catch you again, you won't be safe. Thank you, Anko-chan, he smiled. Anko felt good when he heard him say Chan. She felt glad that she meant a lot to him. Well, I suppose it's time to get up now. Get ready because we're going straight to Hokage-sama about what we talked about last night. Naruto got up and cooked breakfast for the two. After enjoying their meal, the pair gets dressed to see the old Hokage. They left together to make their way to the Hokage's office. They arrived at the door when once again the Hokage spoke. Yes, Anko, Naruto, come on in. He spoke all-knowingly. They opened the door, chuckling at old Sarutobi's ability to sense who's about to see him. Ah yes, what do you need today? Naruto? Anko, he asked. Well, Gigi, we wanted to talk to you about something that happened while I was under surgery. Naruto said, trying to think on how to phrase his next sentence. Well, spit it out then. What happened? He spoke unamused. Well, I sort of talked to the QB no Kitsune while unconscious. Naruto decided not to beat around the bush. I see, he said, then suddenly, wait, what did you just say? My reaction exactly, Hokage-sama. Anko said, agreeing with a shock. Naruto, I need you to tell me exactly what he told you. I cannot express how important this is to the safety of the village. Naruto then explained his situation to the old Hokage, sparing no detail. He seems to be actually very friendly, and he seems to be incredibly sorry for being forced to attack Konoha. Yes, it would explain the sightings of the Sharingan on the fox's eyes during the attack. But still, Madara Uchiha, how is he still alive? A troubled Hiruzen spoke. Hashirama-sensei, I suspect something evil is afoot. I can only hope that you can guide us from the other side. Well, I think we could trust him, Hokage-sama. Naruto has a way with determining a being's true nature. Anko said without missing a beat. Well then, Naruto, have you tried to contact him at all after the incident at all? To be honest, no. I never really thought about that. I think maybe the best way to try to talk is use his chakra. He chuckled. Well, it's settled then. We will secure you. Then you will tap the QB's chakra and attempt to communicate with the Nine Tails. He said decisively. Hokage-sama, what do you mean secure? Anko asked. I was afraid you'd ask that. We'll make sure that the QB doesn't attempt to break free from Naruto's body. We'll have to use a chakra sealing prison on him. So, if worse comes to worse, we'd be safe. No way. I won't let you do that to Naruto-kun. She immediately blushed at her outburst. I mean, with respect, Hokage-sama, you seriously don't mean to do that to Naruto. I understand the risks, Anko-chan. Thank you for looking out for me, but this is something I gotta do. Naruto spoke up with a fire in his eyes. Still, Naruto, you're still an academy student. There is no chance in hell you could walk out the same after the chakra sealing prison. Trust me, I've what it can do to some people. She rebutted. That is very much true, Naruto. You need to become stronger in order to handle the burden of the QB's chakra. Naruto had completely blanked out trying to tune out a noise in his head, but it was blaring louder than an alarm. He tried to close his eyes, when suddenly he blacked out. Hey, Gaki, when the Hokage is speaking to you, you better damn well listen. Anko chastised him. When his eyes reopened, they were red as a crimson moon and instantly locked to the Hokage's. Naruto, the Hiruzen, shouted alarmed at the sudden appearance of darker whiskers and longer nails. Furumbu Black Ops flickered into view, surrounding Naruto, with kunai to his neck to protect the Hokage. Tell your men to lower their weapons. I do not want to fight you, only talk. Naruto spoke in a deep demonic voice. Do as he says, Hiruzen responded while staring Naruto's red eyes down. Hokage-sama, with all due respect, are you sure? The captain spoke in a monotonous voice. Now, he ordered. Yes, Hokage-sama, they all replied in unison. Now where were we? The Hokage asked while looking at him with malice. Yes, of course, Lord Hokage. Let's continue. The two talked about the past and the attack 12 years ago. The tension remained high throughout the entire conversation. Soon the topic came to Madara Uchiha. So are you sure that it was Madara Uchiha that had brought you that attack the leaf? Yes, that Uchiha bastard was always fickle in his Genjutsu use. So what happens now? What will you do? Will you help Naruto? Or hinder him? I will assist the boy for now, as it suits my interest to see him grow strong. Very well then, Fox. I know better than to try you any further. I'd best be returning control to Naruto now. This seal the Yondaime created is a strong 1-inch. Naruto, eyes closed, and he fell to the floor. His eyes flickered red and blue before he passed out completely. Naruto! Anko rushed to his side. He is okay, Anko. Take him home and have him rest. Hiruzen spoke calmly. Okay, thank you, Hokage-sama. Anko picked him up and flickered out of the room. October 28th. Flooded chamber. Naruto's eyes fluttered open. He awoke to find himself back in the same chamber he was in when he met the Kyuubi. Understanding his situation, he went to the same door as before and opened it. You're back in, Naruto. A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Hello, Kurama. I'm back, I guess. But I made my choice. I've decided to trust your words, and I hope we can become friends. Naruto, I am glad. So glad that I want to give you my power. Awesome. Where do we begin? He said eagerly. Patience. You must become stronger to handle all the chakra I can give you, or else your body will be permanently damaged, and you may never be able to harness chakra at all. However, you can still handle a fraction of my power. First, you must be a fully trained ninja, then you may come to me for your training. Okay, then I'll come back later then. One more thing, Naruto. Fist bump me. The fox held out his fist past the cage. Why? Trust me. Naruto did as he was told and received a voice in his head. Hello, Naruto. I've established a neural link. Between us, I can now talk to you through your thoughts. If you ever need to talk in the outside world, just think and I'll be there. Hey, thanks. He smiled. No problem. Now wake up. And he did in the comfort of Anko's bed. It was seeming to be a common thing for him to sleep in her bed. Weird. He got out to find an empty apartment. He whipped himself up a snack to feed himself and to pass the time. I wonder where Anko-chan is. Probably doing something important. He then sat down on the couch and laid down. Well, I should find something to do while I have some downtime. Wait, Hinata, I have to go apologize to her. He stood up as he thought about the Hyuga girl. Maybe I should buy her flowers or something. Maybe chocolates. He thought, not realizing what kind message he wants to send and the message he would send. Yeah, perfect. That will make her feel better. Naruto lifted his head in excitement. He left and locked the apartment while leaving a note for Anko so she wouldn't worry about his absence. All right, first the flowers and I know just who to go to. A bell ringed as Naruto entered the flower shop. Hello, and welcome to the Yamanaka flower shop. My name's Ino, and I'll be assisting you today, Ino said in a monotonous voice while looking down. Hi, Ino, how are you? Naruto said, trying to be friendly and cheer up her obviously bad day. Ino looked up at the familiar voice. Oh, Naruto, it's you. I'm good. Thanks for asking. What can I help you with? She smiled at him. Ino felt indifferent toward Naruto. She admired his courage and persistence. Plus, she thought he was cute when he protected his friends. Well, I need to buy flowers for a friend. Oh, who's the lucky girl? She said, intrigued. Hinata, he replied plainly. Hinata, huh? Well, I have something perfect for her. She'll love it. Okay, let's see them, he said. Follow me, she beckoned him. Ino led Naruto to the back where she kept the majority of her flowers. Here they are. Let's go back up front so I can put them in a bouquet for you. As they went back to the counter, Naruto noticed the beauty of the flowers. They were the same color as Hinata's hair and looked akin to roses. Wow, these look great, Ino. I'm sure she'll love them. How much do I owe you? Naruto brought out his wallet. It's on House Naruto. Call a thanks for cheering me up. Thanks, Ino. I really appreciate it. He smiled at her kindness. No prob. Well, see ya. Goodbye, Ino. Thanks again. He left after hearing the same bell as he did before. Now to find Hinata. He thought on where Hinata would be. Maybe she is at the Hyuga clan estate. That's where I would be. The idea popped into his head. Naruto began walking towards the estate, trying to phrase out an apology in his head. He tried to come up with one before he got there. It would be pretty awkward if he got right to her and fumbled like she would. Within what seemed to be a span 5 minutes, he arrived at the huge, fearsome estate. Here we are, he gulped in his mind. The look and size of the place was intimating to say the least. Suddenly, 2 Hyuga clansmen flickered into view in front of Naruto. He jumped at their sudden appearance. State your name and your business, boy, one said, keeping his stoic face. Naruto Uzumaki, and I would like to see Hinata, please, he said, frightened. Wait here, the other ordered in a deep voice as he flickered out of view. An unbearable silence passed between the two. Naruto tried to make small talk, but was denied every time by the same silence. Far off in the distance, the same man appeared in front of another man who was meditating. Hayashi-sama, a young boy named Naruto Uzumaki, is here and wishes to speak to Hinata-sama, he said with a deep bow. The demon child requests an audience with my daughter. He took a long pause and said, very well, bring him to me. I will decide his true intentions. Yes, Hayashi-sama, he said as he flickered away. Suddenly again the man appeared and whispered to the other. Come with me. He turned towards a manor where Hinata lived. As Naruto walked throughout the manor, he was shocked at the amount time and dedication was placed in the construction and upkeep of this place. Each Zen garden was perfect in its form and symmetry. The bonsai trees were trimmed down to the inch, and the homes were perfect in their shapes and structure. It truly was an estate befitting to the most powerful clan in Konoha. My lord, the boy as you requested. Ah yes, Naruto Uzumaki. Leave us. We have much to discuss. The man nodded as he flickered away to resume his duties. Now, Naruto, what exactly are your intentions with my daughter? He asked. You must be Lord Hayashi. It is an honor, sir. He gave a bow for respect. Don't bow to me, demon. Answer my question. He spoke coldly. Naruto knew there was a game-time decision to make. Either he tell the truth and run the risk of being killed by a man who has just learned his daughter was assaulted, although unintentionally, by him, or he could lie and hope he would not see his deception, to hope he could talk to Hinata in private to explain the situation and apologize the way he meant to. He chose the latter, as his chances of surviving a beating from a gentle fistmaster was slim to none. I just wanted to give these to Hinata. Nothing else. He chuckled in the most unassuring, nervous fashion possible while motioning towards the flowers in his hands. I see. Well, I see no reason why to stop you. I will take you to Hinata's chambers. Then his voice went lifeless and evil. Be warned, Uzumaki, if you do anything towards her, there will be no one to hear you scream. Yes, sir. He gulped. Follow me, he said, returning to his normal tone. Now Naruto got to see inside of the houses. Each room was crafted perfectly that complemented the house like the taste of cool, delicious, creamy ice cream on a hot summer day. Hinata, you have a visitor. Hayashi opened into Hinata's room. A visitor? She wondered. Naruto appeared from behind a tall, white-eyed man. Naruto, she asked. Hi there, Hinata. He grinned in his foxy grin. Well, I'll leave you to it then. Naruto, I suppose I will not need to remind you of our discussion, correct? Yes, don't worry at all. He chuckled nervously again. Very well. Hinata, Naruto. He left. Naruto broke the silence by offering the flowers and saying, Hinata, I want you to have these. I'm really sorry about what happened yesterday. I've been beating myself up mentally, and I really want us to be friends. Naruto, I don't know what to say. These flowers are beautiful. Hinata blushed and stuttered. I really am sorry, Hinata. I never should have assumed and judged you like the others do to me. Can you forgive me?" He looked down in shame. "Naruto, I forgive you." She paused. "Thank you, Hinata." He hugged her before she finished. Deep. She was startled at his sudden movements, and her face turned red from being embraced by him. But soon she settled into his warmth. She found intense warmth in his arms. She caught a whiff of his clothes and was entranced from his scent. She then wrapped her arms tightly behind his back. She wanted so badly to look him dead in the eyes and kiss him with all she's had. The temptation proved to be too much for her. She released the hug, and when Naruto looked down to her, her lips were an inch away when Hayashi opened the door to the room. "Hinata, it is time for your training. Come with—" "What? Father!" She shrieked in fear. "Shit," was his only thought when he realized he broke rule number 1 when dealing with powerful men's daughters. Don't ever get caught in a compromising position with her. "Demon, how dare you try to desecrate my daughter? You will pay with your blood, boy." Naruto went into fight or flight mode, though fighting was out of the question when he saw the Byakugan activate. This was not the first time Naruto ran away from an angry father or an angry person in general, so he had gotten pretty good at causing distractions and vanishing. He looked around and saw an open window. That was his escape from certain doom. He grabbed the flowers that were on the sidelines and threw them at the clan head. He then made a mad dash towards the window and jumped out the side. He then ran to the surrounding woods. Hayashi, when he saw Naruto halfway into the woods, checked on his daughter and started to gather men for the search of the demon boy. "Guards, to me," he shouted. "Yes, Hayashi-sama. What's wrong?" Only a young boy had responded to his call of aid. "You, Niji, you must go after him." The demon tried to attack Hinata. He went into the woods. "Find him and bring him to me. You will be rewarded greatly with riches if you do so." "Yes, Hayashi-sama." He too jumped out of the window and ran in pursuit of Naruto. "Time to test your merits, young Niji. If you succeed in defeating the demon at such an early age, there is no doubt in my mind you will be a worthy successor," he thought while remarking at his genius to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Naruto assumed that he would be pursued. He summoned 2 shadow clones to shake after his pursuers. He was recapping the events in his head. He didn't know how he felt about what Hinata was going to do. He didn't know Hinata that way, and he didn't know if he felt the same way or what he would have done when she kissed him. The time to think was over, for he heard the sound of a twig snap behind him. "You there! Halt!" Niji commanded. "Niji, what are you doing here?" "I must stop you, Naruto. It is the will of Lord Hayashi." "But how? How did you get past my shadow clones?" "My Byakugan sees past your deceptions." "I don't want to fight you, Niji," he pleaded. "I must fight you, Naruto. Hayashi-sama has promised to give me wealth, so I may return honor to the side branch." "Okay then, I really didn't want to do this, but you leave me no choice." The combatants assumed their fighting positions. Niji getting into a gentle fist stance while Naruto remained in the academy stance. Niji had been practicing and by all means was considered prodigy, but his skill with it was still far from being masterful. Naruto went all out with his shadow clones at the start. He was surprised to find Niji was more than capable of dispatching multiple clones at the same time. "You're pretty good," Naruto remarked at Niji's skills. "You also have a solid strategy, sending clones to attack me, so you may discover a weakness in my fighting style. But I warn you, you will find none." "Damn, you figured it out. He's good. I have to be careful." Naruto knew he wasn't going to learn anything new by waiting, so he rushed Niji at full speed. He experimented with different attacks to judge his reaction times and speed. He then backed off to think. Niji expected this and charged him with kunai in hand. Naruto was caught by surprise and was punished for it severely. He received a deep slash along his chest. "R!" he shouted in pain as blood rushed from his wound. "Hey, Ikarama, you in there? I could use some help here. I've been waiting for you to call on me. Let my chakra envelope you. You will keep full control over your actions." "All right, I'm good to go." Suddenly, a red glow covered Naruto's body. His eyes went red, his teeth and nails sharpened, and a red tail grew from his behind. "What is this?" asked a nervous Niji as he observed Naruto's chakra network turn from a light blue to a crimson red starting from his stomach. "I told you, Niji, I really didn't want to have to do this," he said with a deeper, demonic tone. "Still, I must fight you. It is my destiny to beat you." But ironically, Naruto destroyed Niji's defenses with immense speeds. Niji lost within seconds. For the final blow, he uppercut Niji, causing him to fall flat on his back. "I am defeated. My life is yours to take, Naruto." "To take? Niji, are you insane?" He scolded him. "You have a life to live, Niji. I could never take that from you." "But it is your destiny to end me," he responded, holding on to his pride. "Get rid of that destiny crap, Niji. Your life is to make what you will of it. Don't ever let anyone take that from you." He held out his arm as the chakra dissipated around him. I see, thank you, Naruto. You've earned my respect." "Don't mention it," he grinned foxily. Naruto ran off into the forest, while Niji left to report to his superiors. October 28th. Mitarashi residence. 7:30 p.m. Naruto returned home after a longer time than he expected. He was only to be gone maybe 45 minutes to an hour. Instead, he was gone 2 hours. This manifested when he was bombarded with questions by Anko. He told her about the awkward situation with the Hyuga clan and how they should avoid them from now on. He also told her about Hinata's attempt to kiss him. He told her that he didn't feel the same way and asked for advice. "Well, Gaki, there's no nice way to reject someone. There will be some tears involved, there always is. Let her down easy and use kind words. But with stuff like this, I can't guarantee your friendship will remain the same. The best thing you can hope for her is that she'll move on," she said. "Thanks," he replied. "Now I need to talk about you using the Kyuubi's chakra." "Yeah, what about it?" "To put it simply, I don't want you to use it unless you have to." "Okay, but why?" "I don't want you to become arrogant or greedy for power. I know how it can swallow you up and kill you inside. You're too good of a person to let that happen, so I want you to promise me not to use it again unless you have no other options left." Naruto, of all people, knew the value of hard work, so he agreed wholeheartedly, "I promise." They then talked about the upcoming genin exams and how they were rapidly closing in. Naruto was confident in his ability to pass and would try his hardest when the time came. "All right, then, well, you must be hungry after waiting so long. Let me make you something," he offered. No, no. I'll cook. You've earned a break. You did defeat a Hyuga. That's no regular feat," she countered. Naruto smiled at her compliment. He felt happy to make her proud. Soon after eating, the two settled down for the night, with Naruto, one again, being a living body pillow for Anko, and he couldn't be happier. Chapter 4. December 6th. Mitarashi residence. 7 Uhr morgens. Brrring, the monotone noise of an alarm was heard. "Damn, already? I was just settling in. Oh well." His groggy thoughts ran in his mind. He was contemplating just shutting off the alarm and falling back asleep. Unfortunately, he didn't have that luxury because today was the day. The day that would make or break Naruto's shinobi career. Today is the genin exams. He would soon realize this fact after thinking over his day and what it had in store for him. Oh yeah, isn't the genin exams today? He didn't even bat an eye for about 5 seconds until it hit him. "Oh, shit," he cursed under his breath. Then he quickly but discreetly jumped out of bed, making sure Anko wouldn't wake from the movement, poured some cereal and a cup of juice, clothed himself in his iconic jumpsuit, checked on Anko one last time, smiling at her cute sleeping position, and left the apartment to get to class early. With high spirits, Naruto went to the academy. After taking a seat, he spotted his classmates with nervous postures. He went over there in an attempt to lift their spirits too. "Hey guys, why so glum? I promise you guys that we'll pass." "No problem." "Yeah, but it's so troublesome though." Shikamaru sighed. "How can you be so calm, Naruto? Our entire shinobi career is on the line before it even starts. Sakura was fidgeting in her seat. Because I know I studied and practiced real hard, Sakura. I know we can all pass if we put in our all. Naruto pumped in his fist in the air excitedly. Naruto's right, guys. It will be easy as long as we try. Kiba tried to steal Naruto's thunder. It's settled then. We're going to pass no matter what. An inspired Ino spoke up. The rest of the 12 slowly came around to Naruto's way of thinking. But little did they know a proud Iruka overheard the commotion. He was ecstatic to see Naruto made friends with his entire class and was incredibly proud of his leadership skills. He had the ability to truly inspire others to perform the best they can. He was sure that he would be the greatest Hokage there ever was. Once the crew settled down, Iruka entered the class and spoke. Well, class, this is it. This is your graduation test. For you, this is a make it or break it test. But I guarantee that you all succeed. Not because the test is easy. Quite the contrary, in fact. The test will contain all the material you have studied for your past years here. You will succeed because each and every one of you here carries the will of fire in you. And that will is the strongest thing that we Leaf Shinobi have. All of you have prepared immensely for this day. And I know that the next time I see you, you will be fully graduated shinobi for the Leaf. Now go on and make me proud. The class erupted into cheers and clapping. They were fully confident they would all pass the exam that stood menacingly before them. Each of them was proud of their home and will of fire. All right, let's get this done. Naruto pushed himself on. The test itself was no pushover. Like Iruka said, it had everything he studied over the years. Included were highly advanced algebra, calligraphy, hypothetical situations, geometry, political questions, and anything to make sure they were capable of any situation a ninja could handle from behind enemy lines to full-scale combat. Naruto was breezing through the questions easily. He studied and trained hard for this every day since the attack. He wanted to make precious people like the Hokage and Anko proud of him. He reached the final question, which confused him. To the best of your ability, chose 2 of your classmates to be part of a 3-man cell that you will perform missions with for the majority of your ninja career and explain in detail why you selected them for this. Naruto paused for a moment. He looked around at his class, valuing each of their skills and his personal feelings towards them. Though he still liked Sakura at this point, he knew she liked Sasuke and had accepted that, but he still felt bad. He couldn't decide. He didn't want to choose over his classmates. He valued everyone the same. However, he came to a decision. He wrote it down and hoped for the best. He then stood up, gathering the attention of all the students in the class, walked to the front of the room boldly, and turned in his exam paper. He didn't realize his was actually the first one to turn in his exam. He sat down and waited for the exam clock to end. One by one, other students turned in their test. The boring silence finally broke when Iruka spoke up at the turn of the hour. Time. Please lay down your utensils and turn in your exam. No one stood up, signifying that everyone had already turned in their test. Very well. Please stand to go into the area to begin phase 2 of the exam. All students left the class and followed Iruka into the arena in an orderly manner. Once they had all gathered into the arena, Iruka spoke in the crowd. We will now begin phase 2 of the exam. In this exam, you will be called up and perform the transformation jutsu and the clone jutsu. You must effectively hold both for 30 seconds to pass the exam. Let's begin. The names were called in alphabetical order, so obviously it was boring for Naruto for a bit. But in the end, he was finally called in. Trying to pass the time, he decided to ask others about the final question in the exam. Hey, guys, what did you put for the final question on the paper exam? He asked. I answered 27. Why do you ask? Hinata responded. What? I got 34. How did you get 27? A confused Ino asked. Guys, I got Suna for the last question. Kiba spoke uncomfortably. Everyone stared at Kiba while trying to hold in their laughs because of his laid-back response. Well, it seems that everybody didn't have that last question as I did. It was probably just a fluke anyway. Naruto Uzumaki, please come forward and perform the transformation jutsu. Iruka spoke boringly, but in his mind he thought, come on Naruto, show me what you got. All right then. He jumped up and transformed into Iruka himself. See? No problem, he exclaimed. Very good. Now the clone technique, please. I'll do you one better, Iruka-sensei. Shadow clone jutsu. Suddenly, multiple clones appeared and stacked on top of each other in a triangle form. The other students looked on in awe and began clapping at the performance. The shadow clone jutsu? Naruto, how did you learn this technique? Hey, can a ninja have his secrets? He said worry-free in his response. Very well, then I would say you pass. Yes, I knew you could do it, Naruto. Iruka intrally cheered for his favorite student. All right, I think that's the last of them. Well, congratulations, class, on finishing your Genin exams. I can promise you that if you tried your best that you will pass. You will receive your results within the week. Now you're dismissed for the day. Call it a reward for all your hard work over the years. Dismissed. Iruka. After the crowd exited the large stadium, there was only Naruto and Iruka remaining. Iruka broke the silence when he asked, out of all the things I've seen you do, Naruto, how in the hell did you pull off the shadow clone jutsu? Well, I guess I could tell you. After all, the greatest teachers learn from their students. It was Gigi how taught it to me in the first place. You know, for the ninja professor, he didn't realize he could use it to do his work for him. Huh. Only you, Naruto, could call the Hokage such a name and then insult his intellect in the same sentence. Hey, it's what I do, you know. How about I take you to Ichiraku's for a bite to eat? I know you love that place. Iruka knew he never turned down an Ichiraku run. Ichiraku's? Deal. Naruto jumped for joy. Let's go then. Iruka beckoned him. The sensei and student walked down the streets from the academy to go to the beloved ramen stand while chatting and joking with each other. Their conversation went over many topics like the other villages, ninja clans in Konoha, and some funny stories they shared, but by far the most in-depth was about Anko. So how have you and Anko been? She's really taken a liking to you. She's awesome. She's my best friend. There is nobody greater than her on this planet that could even compare to how wonderful she is. That sounds great. What do you guys do together? Well, our schedules conflict a lot, and when we are together, we're really tired. But on weekends, we go out to the training fields and practice. She always shows me a cool technique she knows every time we go. I always try to copy it, but, you know. Don't worry, Naruto. I'm sure you'll learn great jutsu and your own techniques in your own time. Leave the copying to Kakashi Hitaki. Iruka rubbed Naruto's head. Thanks. Also, I remember one day when she showed me this weird technique. Okay, go on. Iruka was intrigued. Okay, well, it went like this. Flashback. November 27th. Konoha Training Grounds. 2 p.m. Well, here we are, Gaki. Go set up by those dummies over there and start practicing your throwing accuracy. Anko-han, what are you going to do? Just get some kanai on those dummies, okay? She responded. Okay, then. He did what he was told to do. He made some shots and landed mainly center mass. He also landed on some of the limbs and one headshot. He wasn't perfect, though there was some misses. He got a good ratio of them. He was about to throw his last kunai and begin on his shuriken when a loud shout came from behind him. Shadow snake hands. Suddenly, 2 snakes shot past him and coiled around 2 of the 3 dummies. Then Anko zipped towards Naruto with kunai in hand. She braked by touching down her feet and held a kunai to his throat, all the while the snakes retracted and wrapped themselves around a dumbfounded Naruto. It worked. I finally perfected it. Anko cheered and raised her hands, cutting both of his cheeks. Naruto was shaken up. He felt utterly helpless, but so safe in her snake arms. He didn't know how to feel about it, so he just stood still with skin flushed from color. Why so pale, Gaki? You don't like my new move? I know you like this part, though. Anko whispered in his ear, giving Naruto goosebumps. Furthermore, She then used the snake tongue jutsu to lick both of his bleeding cuts from the left and going across his mouth to the right. Your face is so funny when I do that, Gaki. Ha ha ha. She let him loose and started laughing. She kept laughing even when she fell to the ground because of it. Naruto's face turned into a pink mess. He had a nosebleed right there on the spot. When Anko did that, he got all tingly and responsive, especially in his face. You can tell that he was enjoying and hating it at the same time, and he didn't yet know how to deal with that problem yet. So he just felt embarrassed and stood there while Anko laughed at his expense. Anko, noticing his little dilemma, said, "Hey, come down here, Naruto," as she yanked on his jumpsuit. "Whoa," he instantly said as he fell down into Anko's arms. "Ouch," he rubbed his head. Anko sat up next to and held her arms around him. She then whispered to him, "Naruto, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a good sport. Even when I make you uncomfortable, I want you to know that I will always be there for you, and you are a light in my world. Thank you. Gaki, where would I be without you? For these past weeks, I've had the time of my life. You had always lightened my day. When you tell me your dreams, my will feels rejuvenated. When you tell me your fears, I just want to hold you and protect you. When you tell me about your happiness, I want to just jump for joy. I think I'm falling for you, and I don't know how to feel, or even if you feel the same. I mean, you're just 12 and a genin. If anyone knew, they would never let you live without fear for your life. Oh, Kami, give me a sign, please." Naruto smiled, then proceeded to hug Anko so tight that the wind was knocked out of her, and she fell over. They laughed after they looked at each other awkwardly. "That's for trapping me in your snake arms," Naruto joked. "Anko-chan, you are the most beautiful, nicest, smartest, and most wonderful person I've met. I'd be dead if you hadn't come to save me. I wish I could be older so I could marry you. I don't care even if I'm younger than you. I still love you. I wish I knew if you loved me the same way. I don't want you to leave me if I mess up. I try so hard to make you proud. But if you left me, then I don't know what I'd do. Oh man, somebody please send me a sign." "Ah, now I have to get you back." Anko stared him down. "Ha ha 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 ha." The two erupted with laughter and looked at the sky. "You know what? Here's a challenge for you," Anko said. "Okay, I'll bite. What is it, and what's the catch? If you pass your Genin exam with a perfect score, I'll get the best surprise for you ever. And the catch: you have to stay off ramen for a month if you even get one wrong." Anko smiled evilly. "No, not my ramen." "Well, if you want that surprise, you have to be perfect on that test. You can't do this, you know. Money to beat you at your own game is just too much." "Oh, well, guess you won't beat me." Anko knew she got him the hook, line, and sinker. "Fine, you got me. It's a deal then." She grabbed and shook his hand. Anko then thought to herself, "Whether he wins or loses, you're going to be mine, Naruto, I promise." Flashback end. Naruto and Irika had finally got to the ramen stand. They lifted the veil and spoke to Ayam, the lady at the counter. "Hello, we'll have some miso ramen bowls, please." Naruto wasted no time ordering and getting ready to eat. "Naruto, please don't go overboard. I'm still paying for it, you know." "Don't worry about it, Irika-sensei. It will be fine," he reassured him. "2 bowls for the two of you. Ayam, serve the 2. "Thanks. Keep him coming, please." "Coming up, Naruto." Irika deadpanned straight into Naruto's face. The two enjoyed their ramen bowls while having fun and joking around, though Irika got more and more worried as each bowl went away and came back. Finally, came the time to say their goodbyes. "Goodbye, Irika-sensei, have a good night." He walked off. "Goodbye, Naruto." "Excuse me, here is your bill." Ayam interrupted him. "Ah, yes, thank you." "What? Naruto?" Irika best himself up for letting Naruto off like that. December 6th. Mitarashi residence. 8 p.m. Naruto laughed all the way back home when he heard Irika shout his name halfway through the walk home. When he opened the door, he found Anko having a takeout dinner by herself. "Hey there, Anko. How was your day? Whoa there, Gaki. How was my day? It was your Genin exams. Yeah. It went well, I guess. I guess. Come on. Give me details. Okay. Okay. I mean, it was easy, I guess. Sounds like the understatement of the year, Anko said all-knowingly. What do you mean? Naruto asked. What I mean is that I know your score. What? How? He was shocked. The Hokage had the great idea to use the Shadow Clone Jutsu to grade your test early. He called me over as soon as the results were in. Really? Guess that's payback then. What? You know what? It doesn't matter. I know your score. Well, tell me, what did I get? Well, it says here. She lifted a paper, Naruto Uzumaki. Your score is... Anko, he shouted. All right. In all actuality, your score is 100%. Congratulations, Naruto. Naruto, eyes widened. Then he broke out into a cheer when knew he won the bet from Anko and was going to become a ninja. All right. He jumped for joy. I'm so proud of you. You're going to be a ninja. She hugged him. Well, now that I'm a ninja, what is the surprise you had for me now that I won? He asked. You're looking at your surprise, she smiled. What do you mean? Naruto asked. Naruto Uzumaki, meet Anko Mitarashi, your new Jounin sensei. Wait, you don't mean? Yes, I'm going to be your sensei, and we're going to be doing missions together. Congratulations, Naruto. Naruto was beyond ecstatic. He was so happy and proud of himself. He got the best Jounin sensei there ever was. He hugged her so tightly and took a bold move. Naruto rushed his lips to Anko's in a fit of love. He didn't think when he did it. He just wanted to kiss her, like a natural impulse that couldn't be quelled. But the part that surprised him the most is that she didn't pull away at all. It's like she wanted it from him. After seemingly a year-long moment, Naruto pulled away from her. Naruto knew he was in for it now and had mere seconds to confess his true feelings to her. Anko, I'm sorry. I just couldn't take it anymore. I love you, Anko. I love you so much. I don't care that you're older or that people will look down on us or that I won't be much for you, but that is the truth. I understand if you don't love me back or if you don't even want me around anymore, but I have to know if you feel the same for me or not. He poured his soul out to Anko. She had the choice to shatter it or complete it, and she chose the latter. Oh, Naruto. She held him tight and placed her head on his shoulder. Naruto, I love you with all my heart. I felt the same since that day we went to the field. You are perfect. I promise that I will love you and never leave your side for the years to come. Now she was the one to let tears flow. Anko had never felt this way about anyone before, so she wouldn't let him go. Not for anything. He was everything for her. Naruto felt like a 100-pound weight was lifted off him. The feeling of finally being loved was like none other he's ever felt. A brave Naruto went back into the lips of his Anko-chan. He did so with even more passion and fervor than before. Anko pushed back with her own love. Her hands grabbed at his shirt and pulled at it. Be advised, Lemon inbound. Well, now that we're together, what do you want to do, Foxy-kun? She whispered suggestively. Naruto's nose bled out instantly when he heard this. But he was worried. He has never done it before, so he didn't want to mess up. Anko-chan, the only thing I want is you, he responded endearingly. Oh, my little Foxy-kun wants me. You know how happy that makes me. She responded. She then lifted Naruto up and started to peck him with kisses. Not as happy as I am, Anko-chan. He boldly admitted. Oh, really? Well, I guess your beautiful and sexy Anko-chan is going to have to prove you wrong. She defied him deviously. Okay, prove that I make you happier than you could to me. You couldn't even if you tried. He gloated. Yes, Naruto-sama, she said in an obediently pleasing voice. When Naruto heard the sama suffix, he knew he was in for the time of his life. He got an instant nosebleed because of it. You make me so happy, Naruto-sama, that I want to do this. Anko dropped Naruto on the bed and kissed him wildly. She then upped the ante by snaking her tongue into his mouth. His eyes shot open when he first felt it, but soon shot back with his own tongue, creating a battlefield between the lovers' mouths. Anko didn't even flinch when she felt her lover fight back. She adored the challenge of proving tongue superiority. She continued to raise the heat of the fires of passion when she grabbed Naruto's hand and placed it on her supple breast. Naruto, without missing a beat, fondled and squeezed the love pillow, causing Anko to squeal in loving delight. He went as far as grabbing the other with his right hand and massaging it. OH, she moaned as her young lover followed his instincts as a man. He didn't stop there. Oh no. After the year-long battle of the mouths, Naruto went for his lover's womanhood. He removed his right hand from her breast and reached down her skirt to feel a drenched pair of panties to be stopping him from Anko's beautiful flower. He started to rub with 2 fingers to test the waters. He knew he was in the clear when Anko broke away from the extended kiss just to moan intensely. Put another Naruto-sama, please, she moaned. He pleased her by adding another finger to the mixture. Anko recoiled from the increasing amounts of pleasure that she received. Each motion sent waves of pleasure through her entire body. Her legs began shaking at the thought of receiving the full package. His package, that is. After a while, she could no longer wait for him to introduce it on his own. She needed to force him. She grabbed his hands and placed them by his side. Huh? Is something wrong, Anko-chan? He asked as he hoped he hadn't done anything wrong. No, I just want to have you in a safe spot when I rock your world. Huh? He was confused. Just watch me, Naruto, Anko commanded. Naruto understood what she meant when broke the kiss and licked her way down to Naruto's pants. I'm gonna blow your mind, Naruto. Anko smiled at him. Anko pulled down his pants, so only his ramen boxers remained. She saw the tent he was pitching and her mouth was watering at the sight of it. She removed the boxers to see it. Naruto wasn't overly gigantic, but if he was this big at such a young age, Anko could only imagine how big it would be when he was fully grown. Oh my Kami, she unknowingly said out loud. Anko-chan, what happened? Naruto became even more worried than before. Don't worry, Naruto-kun, it's fine. In fact, it makes it better. She looked at him through the rock-hard object between them. Anko couldn't hold it longer and began to kiss and suckle on Naruto's manhood. Naruto's eyes rolled back at the sensation. He was feeling so great. Anko saw her moment and went all in on Naruto's manhood. Anko-chan, it's amazing, he shouted at the shock. She continued to suck on Naruto's manhood for a while. She remarked on his stamina. No ordinary man could hold on for such a long time. After she found Naruto's rod to be wet and moist enough, she straddled Naruto and prepared herself. Anko-chan, Naruto huffed. Yes, Naruto-kun, she answered. I'm glad that you'll be my first. I know that I'm probably not your first, and that's okay as long as I'm yours. He admitted. Thank you, Naruto-kun. I promise you that I will be only yours and no one else's. Thank you. Now come here. He sat up and hugged her. When she tried to hug back, he grabbed both of her arms and got on top of her. Oi, Gaki, you tricked me. Anko reacted. Yeah, I did. But if you want me, you'll stay. Naruto offered slyly. Anko, being already prepared and feeling him at her entrance, reluctantly agreed. I'll get you back for this, Gaki. No one holds one over Anko Mitarashi for long. Now, fuck me, Naruto-kun. Hearing this, Naruto went inside Anko. He left no expectation unsatisfied for her. She moaned loudly with each thrust. Oh yes, right there. She roared as waves of pure, raw ecstasy poured throughout her entire body. The sounds of love were heard throughout the entire apartment complex, and they didn't care a bit. The whole world could hear them, and it wouldn't matter. They loved each other, and it was beautiful for them. With thrust, Anko lost it more and more. Naruto brought her to the brink by planting his lips on her breast and began to play with it while increasing his speed and depth tenfold. Naruto then remembered something from a magazine he once read and decided to try it out. He removed himself from Anko's breast and placed his finger inside Anko's behind while he was thrusting into her. Lo and behold, she enjoyed it. Naruto could tell from her moaning deeply when he put it in. Keep going, Naruto. I'm almost there. Anko screamed to him. But for Naruto, he found himself lowering on stamina. But by some force unknown, he found the ability to make two and simultaneously climax with Anko. Give it all to me, Naruto Kun. I can't hold on Ian Ko-chan. The two screamed in unison the other's name as they climaxed, letting out the final push of the most pure and powerful feeling one could ever fathom in their life. Naruto had filled Anko with his Ropa seed that came spewing out of her body once he released himself from Anko's womanhood. Be advised, lemon over. Naruto fell to Anko's side, both panting from the exhausting experience called love. Their bodies were covered in a film of sweat, and the bed was soaked from the bodily fluids that were released during the act. Anko knew that the first thing to do was to make sure an unexpected surprise wouldn't come from this day. She conjured a hand seal and placed two of her fingers over her navel. "What are you doing?" asked an oblivious Naruto. "Making sure I don't get pregnant, Gaki. What else could I be doing?" She responded. "Oh, I forgot about that." He chuckled at his ignorance. And done, Anko put her hands down and looked at the ceiling. "I love you so much, Anko-chan." Naruto wrapped his hands under the breasts of his lover. "I love you too, my little foxy Naruto-kun." She chuckled and then embraced Naruto. "When do we should tell everyone else?" Naruto asked. "I think we should wait a year before anyone should know. Since you're a genin, it is still legal, but I think you're on your 13th birthday. We should announce it to the world." Anko responded. "Okay, I think you're right. It will be hard, though, to resist kissing your beautiful lips in front of everybody," he admitted. "You such a flirt, Gaki." She laughed. "But you know it's true, Anko-chan," he said. "I know, but it's for the best." "I understand. I love you, Anko-chan. Nothing will ever change that." "I love you too, Naruto-kun." The couple fell asleep in each other's arms. Anko smiled at Naruto, who was already fast asleep due to his fox-like tendency to purr when he is in the comfort of her arms. "I promise you, Naruto-kun, I'll train you to be strong. I'll be right by your side every step of the way." Chapter 5. March 10th. Mitarashi Residence. 11 Uhr morgens. It had been little over a year since that fateful night, where Naruto confessed his love to his most precious person. And since that night, they have never been happier, even though they had kept it under wraps from the world. Even Anko's close friends don't know about their true relationship. Although the Jinjutsu mistress, Kurenai Yuhi, Anko's best friend, knew something suspicious was going on with her love life. She just wasn't sure who was behind it. But besides her, not a soul suspected anything. Naruto sits at the table just after preparing a late breakfast for Anko and himself. They had awoken late because of some special activities they performed the night before. The kind of activities that are meant for a pair just as close as them. "For you, my beautiful serpent, your meal." He lowered the plate in front of Anko. "For me? Oh, thank you, my foxy-kun." She cooed. Naruto went back to retrieve his plate and sat down across from Anko. "Man, how do you cook this good?" she asked while chomping down on her food. "Well, living by yourself for 12 years sure does force you to pick up some tricks." The pair continued to eat their meal, one of them chomping away and the other calmly eating at his food. As he was eating, Naruto reminisced on his last day at the academy, the day the genin were assigned to their sensei. Flashback. "All right, class, it is time. For those of you who passed, I will now name your genin squads with your sensei." The entire class went silent and readied themselves for their names to be called. Naruto listened carefully for his name. He thought he would be on Anko's team with two other genin, but was surprised when he named was not called. He heard Sakura's name, Sasuke's, and another kid that showed up that day named Sai. Sai was a pale, scrawny boy who seemed friendly enough, but Naruto took a look into his eyes. He knew right then and there that the smiles he let off were just a ruse. Ino, however, took a liking to him. She thought he was cute with his pale skin and void-color hair. Naruto noticed that Team 8 was headed by Kurenai Yuhi. He heard about her through Anko, but never had the pleasure of meeting her. Irika finally finished his list and said, "And that's it, class. Congratulations to all of you." He started to tear up. "You are sniff dismissed." The class celebrated and left the room, once again leaving Naruto and Irika in the class alone. "So, I assume you already know who your sensei is?" Irika asked. "Yeah, I thought that I would have two other teammates, though." "Nope, you are the first genin to get a solo sensei in a long time." "Really?" "Yeah. I wonder how she managed to convince the Hokage to allow her to become a solo sensei like that. I know from experience that she could be very persuasive. You wouldn't believe the amount of dirt she could find in a short time." "I know. She's gotten me a couple times in the past, too." Ha 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 ha. The two broke out in laughter. You know what's funny, though, is that the answer you gave for the final question on the exam. And not what you expected, to say the least. I thought you would choose Sakura, considering your obvious infatuation with her Naruto. Well, I got someone else on my mind. Oh, really? Please go on. You would like me to, would you? Well, I'm not going to. That's my business. Ha ha. All right then, keep your secrets. Naruto just smirked in response. Either way, congratulations, Naruto. I'm so proud of you. Hey, thanks, Irika-sensei. I guess this is goodbye for now. When you come back from your first mission out of the village, we'll be sure to celebrate with some ramen, my treat. Good luck out there. Make me proud. I'm gonna hold you to that, Irika-sensei. Believe it." Naruto walked out of the classroom to find Shikama, Hinata, Kiba, Choji, and Ino outside of the class. They pounced on him with questions on who his sensei is. "Naruto, why wasn't your name called out for your sensei? Did you not pass your exam, Naruto?" Ino asked. "Yeah, Naruto, you better have passed after all the cheerleading you did on test day." An aggravated Kiba dissed. "Whoa, guys, slow down. I passed it all right. I got 100% on it." Naruto raised his hands in defense. "If you passed, then who is your sensei then?" Shikamaru logically questioned. "It's Anko Mitarashi." He answered blankly. "Isn't she that crazy snake lady that showed up that one time in class?" Choji thought out loud. "I wouldn't say crazy. She's just different." "I think you mean completely insane, Naruto," Ino corrected him. "Hey, she's not that bad." "Not at all." Naruto defended her. "Well, I don't know. She did seem pretty out of it." Kiba agreed with Ino. "But still, you have a sensei by yourself with no other teammates. I've never heard of that happening before." Shikamaru rubbed his chin. "Yes, I agree. Why is that?" Hinata thought the same. "Guess I was the odd one out, huh?" Naruto scratched the back of his head. "Well, I guess it doesn't matter anyway. Thanks for caring enough to wait out here to ask me about it." Naruto continued. "What do you mean? We're your friends. It's our jobs to ask about it." Ino punched him in the shoulder with her classic attitude. "Yet, definitely, man, we've got your back." Kiba agreed. "Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it." Naruto smiled and beamed. Flashback end. Ah, the good times. Naruto chuckled at himself. Anko noticed Naruto daydreaming away at his seat. "Look at him. He's cute when he's lost in thought like that. Let's see if the taste of sweetness will wake him up." Anko stared at him while cocking her head, smiling. Anko then stood up, leaned over the table, and planted her lips on his. Naruto's eyes shot wide and stood to attention. What also stood to attention was the tint in Naruto's pants, causing a blush forming on his whiskered cheeks. Anko chuckled and continued to pressure him by licking him on his whiskers as a mother fox does to her young. Naruto found this soothing. He purred and cooed in her embrace. He enjoyed being smothered with her love, and he found her kisses soothing. Anko released him from the kiss and said, "Well, that got you awake, didn't it?" Naruto didn't play any games and just exhaled, "Oh, Cammy, I love you so much." He then latched onto her and returned the kiss, this time pulling out all the stops. He shoved his tongue in her mouth, and she welcomed it completely. It was now Anko's turn to go wide-eyed. She didn't expect him to come at her like that, but she liked his boldness. That's what she loved about him, his carefree attitude, his loving demeanor. "My Cammy, you're the best boyfriend I could ask for. I love you." she locked in his pure blue eyes. But life goes on. Naruto and Anko know this. They let out all their love so that way they could resist the temptation in public. They left each other's embrace to ready themselves for their day. Anko in her trench coat, skirt, and fishnet shirt. Naruto not in his iconic orange jumpsuit, but in a trench coat akin to Anko's, but in black. The coat had a purple snake trailing down the back as a subtle homage to his master. The sleeves, however, were only up to elbows. He also wore a black headband that held his Konoha insignia. Underneath, he wore a black shirt with the sleeves down, with an orange stripe down under the arms. After all the conditioning Anko had done to him to forget that horrid color, he couldn't let it go. He wore black standard issue shinobi pants and battle sandals. His hair remained its blonde, spiky style with some added length. Look at you, a handsome thing you are. I'm glad I scooped you up before some girl like that Hyuga or that Pinky got to you. Anko grabbed at his crotch and spoke in his ear. I'm glad I have you. Also glad that we got me this over my jumpsuit. It has too many bad memories. Naruto looked at himself in the mirror with Anko behind him. I promise I'll never let that stuff happen to you again. I'll catch you when you fall, and I'll be there for you. Anko caressed his hair. Thank you, Anko-chan. I love you so much. Well, I'm ready to go. What's on our schedule for today? Well, I want to introduce you to an old friend of mine. Meet me at our spot in 2 hours. I got to go handle some business with some foreign ninja who thought they could sneak in without suffering the wrath of the beautiful Anko Mitarashi. She walked over to the door. Sounds good. See you then, Anko-chan. Naruto kissed her. See you later. She left and closed the door behind her. Well, I got some spare time on my hands. What should I do? He rubbed his chin. Maybe I should go catch up with Sakura and Sasuke, or maybe Kiba, Hinata, and Shino. And so he took off, in the new garb that he wanted to show off to his friends. He takes off to the nearest training ground to see if he could find team training. As he leaped from roof to roof, he noticed the Hokage faces carved on the side of the mountain. I wonder what will happen when they run out of space. Down when the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, or even 15th Hokage show up. I guess they'll just carve that face when they get there. But after jumping from roof to roof for a short while he spotted Kurenai Yuhi and her team in some form of meditation, possibly against a Jinjutsu considering the team was visibly under stress by sweating and strain on their faces. Naruto was fascinated by the training. Since Kurenai was the best at Jinjutsu in the country, it makes sense that she would want to pass down her knowledge in the subject. Naruto wanted to try his hand at expelling Jinjutsu from the mistress herself, so he sat down in the file the other members were in and flared some chakra as a challenge in a way. He let her know that he was here and wanted to be tested. Kurenai, upon detecting him, chuckled. It's that Uzumaki, Anko's student. It seems he wants to join in on the fun. Well, let's not keep him waiting. Naruto began to hear a ringing in his ears. He looked around, but there was nothing to make the noise. He assumed it was part of the Jinjutsu. It must be a trick to throw him off his game. He recalled some lessons on Jinjutsu in his academy days. When facing a user of Jinjutsu, stay calm. The user will attempt to bridge your mind with their allowing them to attack your chakra system and nervous system. The best way to fight this is to remain calm. Jinjutsu affect your nervous system by disrupting the chakra that heads to your sensory organs, eyes, ears, nose, etc. So by overloading your entire nervous system with chakra, you can break most Jinjutsu. Naruto did nothing. He showed no disturbance. In response, Kurenai increased the pressure. She stopped the ringing and began the sounds of insects swarming him. This made Naruto hesitate. He began to swat the air around him. He kept doing so until he regained his composure and sat still. He's better than I thought. I'd better raise the heat, she remarked at his natural talent despite lack of any training. At this time, Kurenai had focused all her attention on Naruto, leaving the remaining team confused as to why the pressure had been suddenly lifted, not that they were complaining. Kiba and Hinata were sweating due to the constant strain of Jinjutsu. However, Shino showed no visible strain, though he didn't show much of any emotion to begin with. "Hey, Kurenai-sensei, what gives? Why do we all stop all of a sudden?" Kiba obnoxiously questioned, but he received no response. Only a gentle breeze on the wind was heard. The students stared at Kurenai, waiting for a response. Kiba and Shino heard a gasp from their side and looked over to find a red-faced Hinata sitting nervously next to Naruto. I guess she still has that crush, even after he tried to end it. Sighs in his own thoughts, somehow, I wish she would pay attention to me, as she does to him. The mental battle being fought was akin to nothing that Kurenai has ever seen in a genin. Try as she might, Kurenai was unable to successfully trap him in a genjutsu for more than a minute, at least using standard techniques. But she wasn't referred to as the genjutsu mistress for using just standard techniques. She stepped up her game. She released to Naruto one of her stronger moves. Oh no, not that move. Hinata's eyes widened at what her sensei was about to do. What is it, Hinata? Kiba was surprised at her shock. That's one of her stronger genjutsu moves? Kiba, Kurenai-sensei is going to completely envelope Naruto's optical nerves. You know what that means. What does it mean? Kiba dumbly replied. That technique preys upon the victim's worst fears, replaying them on loop. That can cause some serious damage. I do not believe Kurenai-sensei would not let it go that far. She would not use such a barbaric technique on a comrade. Shino doubted. Kurenai, however, was going to pull any punches, but instead of his most horrifying nightmares, his most awkward memories and thoughts, the most cringe-inducing, bone-chilling idea he has conceived would flood his eyes. This will work? I can imagine his face now. Enko is right. I need to engage in this side more often. Kurenai laughed inwardly. And then it came. Naruto gritted his teeth. He clenched his hands. He pressed his eyes shut. He couldn't force them out of his head. Finally, he broke under the soul-crushing, heart-demolishing weight of those damn thoughts. No, Okamino. Get out of my mind. He struggled internally. He depicts by covering his head with hands like he was having a breakdown. If she keeps this up, I'm finished. She'll completely capture me with Jinjutsu. This is bad. Very bad. He continued. I have him under my thumb, like playing a damn fiddle. Now to seal the deal. She smirked. Not so fast. A deep evil voice emerged into Kurenai's thoughts. What the dash? Who are you? How did you get here? She panicked, believing she already knew the answer. Yes, 'tis the QB himself, yada yada, all that crap. Listen, I'm going to keep this short. Despite your immense skill for Jinjutsu, for a human anyway, you seem to forget one of the biggest weaknesses of it. Jinjutsu creates a bridge that is traversable by both parties. Therefore, while you attack Naruto's mind, I can attack yours. And when it comes to Jinjutsu, I reign supreme amongst all the tailed beasts. Shit was all she was able to conjure up before Kurama sent a mental barrage at Kurenai, causing her to physically fall back. Let that be a lesson next time you don't consider the risks of your trade. He broke the link, leaving Kurenai dumbfounded and pissed that she was beaten at her own game. Hey, Kurenai-sensei, are you all right? Kiba looked worried for once in his life. I'm all right, Kiba, just surprised. Thanks for looking out for me. She rubbed his hair. Naruto opened up his eyes and noticed Kurenai on the ground. Huh? What happened? Wait. Hey, Kurenai-sensei, are you okay? He questioned. Don't worry, Kit, she'll be okay. I just expelled her from your mind. Oh, hey. Thanks, Kurama, I appreciate it. Naruto looked up like his was talking to a god. No problem. Having a tail beast for a living roommate sure does have its perks. If you need me to do it again, you know where to find me. In your mind, that is. Yeah, cool, thanks. He chuckled. Well, Naruto, you seem to be better with Jinjutsu defense than I thought. But would you like to learn how to use it? Kurenai spoke to Naruto. Well, I never really thought about Jinjutsu before, but by seeing your skill with it makes me want to learn it. Very well then. Come back to me later so we can discuss it. Impressive. Naruto, you defeated Kurenai-sensei at her own specialty. I recommend you take up on her offer. Shino let go of his stoic silence to to compliment him. Yeah, man, that was pretty cool. You could be the next big thing in Jinjutsu. Kiba agreed. Hey, thanks, guys. So how have you guys been over the year? Training sure does take a lot of time out of our personal lives, doesn't it? Yes, indeed, Naruto Koen training can be quite time-consuming. Hinata entered the conversation. Well, I have been studying some of the more practical use of beetles like the Baikochu. They can track someone over immense distances. Shino explained. LOL, I can't have anything else about beetles. Well, not to brag, but I've been learning a new technique with Akamaru here. Want to see? Kiba smirked. Sure, let's see it raised Naruto. Alright, here we go. Inazuka style. Man-beast transformation combo. Akamaru jumped off Kiba's head and a smoke cloud appeared covered him. Then, as it dissipated, an exact copy of Kiba stood alongside him. That's pretty cool. It's kind of like my shadow clone technique, but with little Akamaru here. Naruto commented. Check this out. Both Kibas responded, creating an echo. Fong over Fong. Kiba and Akamaru shouted before jumping, creating a spiraling vortex headed toward a tree and broke it in half. Wow, Kiba. That's so cool. Hinata's eyes went starry as Sakura would do to Sasuke. Kiba noticed her eyes and blushed deeply, though it was unnoticeable through the vortex. However, he lost focus in the technique and fell face first in the ground. Whoa, H. He shouted as planted into the ground. He tried to come back with a witty, I'm okay, but his hand fell down, causing a comedic relief for Naruto. Make sure you cover that before you use it in a real battle, Kiba. I'd hate for you to beat yourself. Huh? Naruto laughed at his position. Hinata ran over to Kiba to check on him. Kiba-kun, are you okay? She bent down to see him. Kiba flipped onto his back and said, Yeah, I'm alright. Sucks that I didn't get down, though. He pouted like a dog. It's okay, Kiba. You just need a little more practice, that's all. Actually, I thought it was really cool. Really? Kiba's face went to a smile. Yeah, actually, do you want to come by sometime and train with me? I need some help with my own jutsu, so we can help each other out. Would you like that? Yes. Yeah, that'd be cool. Kiba tried to maintain composure, but slipped up. Okay, cool, so next week, Saturday, 3 o'clock? Yeah, for sure. Can't wait. Kiba was now cheering. He felt red as his face paint. He really liked Hinata. Normally, he was the guy that oozes confidence. He wouldn't care much for girls. He respected them, of course. But then came Hinata. He never really noticed her in the academy, but over the year, he has grown closer to her. Especially when Naruto turned down Hinata's advancements. That particularly hurt her the most. Her self-confidence hit the gutter. Kiba saw her at a low time, and he stayed by her. That solidified his attraction to her. Well, guys, I better be going now. I got something to finish before I begin my training sesh. Naruto waved as he walked off. Okay, see you later, Naruto. Kiba stood up and waved him off. Uru Naruto-kun. Hinata held up a peace sign. Very well. Be good, Naruto. Shino crossed his arms and pressed his glasses up. That Uzumaki, he sure is something. He sure is lucky to have Anko as a teacher. I can see why she enjoys his presence. Now at the time I've left, what should I do? Wait, I know. Yes. His mouth began to water with excitement, and his primal instincts took over. He made a mad dash to his most beloved place, or at least his most beloved place when Anko wasn't around. March 10th. Outside Hokage Mansion. 12 p.m. Well, team, we did well on this mission. You should be proud of yourselves. I say we go to get some food on me. The sensei cheered his team. Is this an apology for the number of times you've been late? The suspicious Pinkette questioned. What? Can't an honest sensei treat his students to lunch after a mission anymore? Chivalry is dead. He responded. Yes, sure. I was getting hungry anyway. Let's go. She waved. In all fairness, sensei, you're late. A lot. In fact, all of the missions we've done together, you've been late by an average of 1 in 32 minutes, a pale raven-haired boy logically explained. Let's just get this over with, okay, Sai? A deadpanning Kakashi. Very well, sensei, he smiled. The sensei and his team walked down the street looking for a bite to eat until they spotted Ichiraku's ramen noodle shop. Seeing that there was no other restaurant in sight, they just reasoned that it couldn't be that bad. The team sat down on the stools and situated themselves. Hello there. What can I get for you all? Old man Tucci smiled and greeted his customers. Yes, can I have one of your, what the? Oh, Sakura was pushed aside for a hunger-driven Naruto. All right, old man. 10 bowls of the usual on the double. I haven't eaten ramen in a month, and I'm not going to wait any longer. Naruto was already salivating at the aroma. Hey, Naruto. Long time no see, it's coming right up for you. He forgot all about Sakura and focused on his favorite and best-paying customer. The squad sitting down were shocked at the boy's rash move. They were eagerly waiting for Sakura to come back up and sock Naruto square in the face. All right, what kind of ill-mannered, short-sighted Dumba is wait? Naruto. She cocked her head. Oh hey, Sakura, long time no see, right? He smiled at her dumbly. Yeah, I guess it has, huh? Her anger dissipated like the breeze, carrying a cherry blossom on the wind. Yeah. Oh hey, Sasuke. How you doing, man? Who are these two? This is Kakashi Hatake Naruto. He is our sensei. He choked on the word sensei. He never really referred anyone by it, so it was out of the ordinary for him. And this is Sai. Oh, well, he doesn't really have a clan, does he? Hee hee, Sakura laughed off the awkwardness. Well, nice to meet you guys. I'm Naruto Uzumaki, the future Hokage himself. Very well. Nice to meet you, Naruto. Sai smiled. Yo, Kakashi held up a peace sign and closed his only exposed eye. Mod. Normally Sakura would deck just about anyone that pushed her like that. Especially him, considering all the stories I've heard about him being a nuisance to her, always asking for her love and try to treat her like a queen, only to be rejected and denied. But that's changed, I wonder why. Her anger vanished as soon as she recognized him. Also, his attitude towards her has changed. Instead, he treats her like a friend. Maybe he's moved on. Maybe he found someone else that returned his affection. Perhaps Sakura has come to a realization that pushing away Naruto was a mistake. I can only wonder. The Jounin pondered. Order up. I am placed a bowl in front of Naruto. Enjoy Naruto. Yes, you're saying I am Chan. Thank you. Naruto dug into his meal, leaving no noodle behind. Tucci and Ayam were always so infatuated with how he could eat so quickly. So much so that they would forget to take other customers' orders. Hey, excuse me, can we order please? Sakura waved at the distracted shop owners. Oh ho ho, yes sorry, what would you like? Tucci took out a notepad. The team ordered their respective meals. They watched as Naruto devoured his bowls one after another with no end. Wow, Naruto, you can really eat, can you? Sakura watched him chew down his food. This stuff is so good, Sakura. It's like a gift from Kami himself. You want to try? Sure, why not? She cocked her head. Here's the next bowl, Naruto. Enjoy. Ayam grabbed his empty bowls and served him his next one. Perfect. Here, Sakura, try it. Naruto passed over the bowl. Sakura picked up the chopsticks and grabbed a heap of noodles and plopped them into her mouth. Her eyes widened at the taste. She chewed, then swallowed, waited for a second, then began to attack her meal with a fury that made Naruto jealous but also massively proud. Good, right? I knew you like it. The broth is made to perfection. The noodles themselves are masterfully designed, created by a true master. The condiments on the side just add to the already wondrous taste. To be honest, it's simply the greatest thing to ever happen to humanity. He went on to describe the wonders of ramen and its history like some kind of geek. All the while, Sakura chowed on the wonder food that was invading her taste buds. She finished up the bowl and procked to thank Naruto for showing her the wonders of the magical ramen stand. Wow, Naruto, that was great. I get why you swore by this place for so long. Yeah, I know, it's great. Naruto looked at the clock that was hanging above the stove. Almost one. Wait, don't I have to meet up with Anko-chan at the training ground? OHSA chai tea. I'll never hear the end of it if I don't get there in time. Naruto stood up and explained the situation to the team, who were calming, eating away at their food. Hey guys, I hate to cut it short, but I gotta meet my sensei soon and I gotta run. But nice to meet you, Kakashi sensei, and Sai. See ya. He ran off. Wait, Naruto. Hold on. Sakura met him halfway. Yes, Sakura. He stared into her green eyes. I want to talk to you about something privately. Meet me at the library at 5 o'clock, okay? Of course, Sakura. I'll see you there. Okay, now go before I'm responsible for you being late. She turned him around. Okay, see you then. He waved her off while running off. Sakura, what was that all about? Sai asked. Oh, nothing important. I see. March 10th. Training ground. 12:58 p.m. Naruto made to the training ground with only 2 minutes to spare. Luckily, Anko was running a little late herself, so it would work out just fine. Naruto was under the shade of a tree when Anko made her entrance. She snuck up behind the tree and used her shadow snake hands to tie him up. What the dash? Yankeo, he roared. Hey there, Naruto. I noticed you seem to be tied up there. She smirked. Aha, very funny, you got me. Can you let me go now? Yeah, why not? The snakes retracted. So what's on the agenda for today's sensei? It's something I've been looking forward to ever since you became my student. Really? Yeah, but first let me ask, how do you feel about snakes? What's your opinion on them? Naruto was confused. What an odd question, he thought. He didn't mind snakes. In fact, he thought of them better than most people would. He thought they were noble despite their trickster nature. He was himself the self-proclaimed pranking king, so he enjoyed that tricky type they presented. Their variety of coloring and sizes was also something he enjoyed about them. I think they're pretty cool. Snakes and I have a lot in common, and they look really cool with all their colors and patterns. Considering I'm wearing one on my back, I'd say they are my favorite animal. Why do you ask? Because I want to make you part of the next generation of snake summoners, and you just passed the test. Wait, for real? Naruto was surprised. Yes, for real. Anko-chan, I'm honored. I'll make you proud. I'm glad you want to do it. Let's get started, shall we? She bit her thumb and conjured a hand sign, then slammed her hand onto the ground, and a large smoke screen appeared to reveal an anticlimactically small snake. Hello there, Anko-chan. How can I assist you today? The small snake overpronounced the S. Hello there. You won't believe what I got for you. I need the snake summoning contract for this new blood here. Oh, I see. Have you vetted him? He shows immense promise. She assured. I see. Very well. I will make the preparations. You will be reverse summoned shortly. She vanished in smoke. Naruto, take my hand. Anko held her hand out to him. Okay, he grabbed it. Suddenly, the pair disappeared and reappeared in a large room. The walls were stone, and the place was dimly lit so that there was a main focal point at the end. Naruto looked around, and when his eyes returned to what's ahead of him, he became frozen in fear. In front of him was a serpent of epic proportions. The size of him would make an Akimichi's expansion jutsu feel small. So, young Anko has brought me a new blood for the summoning contract. Tell me, boy, what is your name? The beast spoke. Naruto Uzumaki, sir. He came off as most respectful as he could. Sir? Ha ha. I haven't been called that in a long time. He laughed. I can feel your fear, boy. There's no need to worry. Yeah, Naruto-kun, relax. What is he going to do? Eat you? Though he could do that rather easily. Anko admitted. Not helping Anko. Naruto looked at her. I am Manda, head of the Snake Clan. You are standing in Ryuchi Cave, our home. Welcome. Thanks for having me. He responded. Now let us get back to business. Here is the scroll. A large scroll appeared and opened up before them. In the empty space, sign the name in your blood, and the ritual will be complete. The scroll itself was large and cumbersome. It featured 4 other names next to where Naruto would be signing. Anko's, Orochimaru's, and 2 others written in some indecipherable language. Okay, here we go. He bit his own thumb and began to sign. Perfect. I sense a long and prosperous relationship with the Uzumaki for years to come. Ever since the betrayal of Orochimaru, the people of Konoha have come to distrust us, even fear us. No shinobi would come to us for their summon, but I sense this will soon come to an end. Allow me to introduce you to your own personal summon, my son, Bosk. Hello there, Naruto. I am Bosk. It is an honor to hunt alongside you. The snake slithered along his body and onto his shoulder. Hello there. You certainly are a bold one, aren't you? Well, tell me, how can I best use your abilities? I'm glad you asked. Because of my small size, I can perform reconnaissance in vastly secure areas. I possess multiple poisons that I can inject into my prey with ease. They range from a non-lethal, painless venom to an interrogation venom that can inflict brutal pain. Interesting. Well, I'm looking forward to working with you, Bosk. As am I. Well, it's time to make our goodbyes. I expect great things from you, Naruto. Don't forget you have the Snake Clan on your side. Yes, thank you. Manda, goodbye, Naruto, and Anko returned back to the training area in a cloud of smoke. Good work, Gaki. You got into contact, Anko smiled. I never could have joined if you hadn't given me the chance. Thank you, Anko-chan. No problem, anything for you. But we should get to practicing the jutsu first. I highly doubt you could summon Bosk just yet. We'll have to practice first. And so they did. They worked on it for the entire day. He managed to summon small snakes at first, some which Anko recognized. They didn't like to be summoned out of the blue like that and showed their grievances. But besides that, Anko taught him some snake-related jutsu, snake tongue, and the like. Hee, I can't wait to try snake tongue on Anko tonight. I'm sure she'll love it. He giggled. He made decent headway into summoning stronger snakes. Eventually, a few hours later, he was finally able to summon Bosk. Naruto, I'm surprised. It usually takes longer for beginners to summon their personal summons. I'm impressed. Nice I managed to get it down. Good job. Naruto, tomorrow we'll be working the larger summons. But for now, I think you could be dismissed for today. Thank you, Sensei. I'll see you at home. He bowed and left. Well, I best be making my exit now. Goodbye, Anko. See you later. Naruto now headed over to the library to find Sakura. I wonder what she wants to talk about, he wondered. But meanwhile, Sakura was having her own crisis. Should I do this? I have to, with the way I treated him. Ever since he fought Sasuke because of me, I felt different around him. What if he doesn't even like me back? After all I've done, I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted nothing to do with me. Oh, what will I do? She walked back and forth in front of the library. Naruto saw her looking stressed. He walked over to her and said, Hey, Sakura, is everything okay? Oh, Naruto, you scared me. Sorry, but are you all right? You seem stressed. I'm okay, just fine. Hey, it's okay, you can tell me. I'm here for you. He placed his hands on her shoulders and stared into her weak emerald eyes. Naruto, she stuttered. She couldn't quite get it out. Yes, Sakura-chan. He moved his head slightly closer. I'm so sorry for hurting you all the time. I feel so bad for just leaving you there after everything you've done for me, like flowers and chocolates. Oh, please forgive me. She shed tears and hugged Naruto. Sakura-chan, it's okay, I forgive you. I could never be mad at you. He caressed her pink hair and kissed her on her head. Thank you. Naruto, Sakura held him tighter. You're welcome. I'll always love you, know that. He rubbed her head with his cheek. Sakura, eyes widened. He loves me. Did I just hear that? Little did she know he meant a different kind of love. Oh no, what do I do? I can't just break his heart. I'll just roll with it. I'll make the first move. If it makes him happy, then it will be worth it. She foolhardily decided. Okay, Naruto, how's this? Sakura grabbed his head and pushed her lips onto his. She caressed his hair in order to maintain the act. Naruto was confused. He didn't do anything to warrant this. Wait, it's when I told her I love her. That's not meant I meant. Ah, Naruto, you baka, see what you get yourself into. Naruto sighed. He didn't want to have to hurt her like this, but it had to be done. Naruto-kun, what's wrong? Sakura thought the jig was up. Sakura, I love you, but not like that. You're like a sister to me. I'll admit there was a time when I would have gone crazy if you kissed me. But I found someone else that I love with my heart. I'm so sorry. He looked down. Amongst all the emotional stress, Sakura laughed. She cracked up laughing when she realized all the stress was for nothing. Sakura-chan, are you okay? I mean, glad you're happy, but I thought you would be sad. No, Naruto-kun, it's okay. I just thought you still loved me, so I didn't want to break your heart. And when you said you loved me, I got all nervous, but I didn't know you meant that way. Haha, geez, Cammy, that kills me. Wait, really? Yep. Wow, that's awkward. But Naruto, thank you for feeling that way. I feel the same, and I'm really sorry for the way I've treated you. I'm glad we can still be friends. Yeah, me too, Sakura. Glad we straightened it all out. So in saying their goodbyes, they left. They hoped to forget the whole ordeal and go about their lives. But from that day, another friendship was born, one that will hold true until the end of time. March 10th, Mitarashi Residence, 7 p.m. Naruto opened up the door to his home. He just wanted to rest from the stresses of the day. Anko-chan, I'm home. He talked out loud. Naruto-kun, how's my cute, little foxy-woxy doing? She baby talked him. Oh, fine. How's my sexy, seductive serpent faring? Do need some special loving tonight? He rubbed her hair. Not tonight. I'm so tired from today. I just want to fall asleep in your arms. Really? What happened? Naruto questioned. Well, after training, I was called back into INT for a suspected murder suspect. I thought you worked for the Shinobi Corps only, not just regular policing. Well, this case was different. All I can tell you is that it involved a death in another village's council. Okay, so what was so special about him? She was a clear sexual sadist. Got off to raping and killing men and women. A real progressive piece of shit. She fled here after she committed the murder, she added. How did you break her? It took some work. She wasn't budging from the pain, so we tried some psychological stuff on her, bringing back memories of her being abused by her parents. Works every time. Good. You must be so tired from all the work. Do you want a massage? Something to ease the pain. For me? You make me feel so special, Naruto-kun. Anything for you. Warning, tactical lemon incoming. The two went to the bedroom for the massaging. Anko became bare for it, laid on the bed face down. Naruto poured some chakra into his fingers, making them relax the muscles. He began to massage Anko, evaporating her stress like water poured onto a hot pan. Yes, right there. So good, she moaned. Your body is so tight, Anko-chan. Let me relieve you. He meant her muscles, but was having way too much fun. Naruto kept at it, making sure not to miss a spot. But he did miss one spot, one that was becoming more wet by the second. Anko, I'm almost done. Do you want me to go there? Yes, please. I need it. Say no more, Mistress Anko. Your wish is my command. He began to massage Anko's womanhood. He pumped even more chakra into his fingers, creating a state of pure ecstasy for her. Oh yes, please don't stop. My Kami, you are full of surprises, Gaki. Naruto continued to play with her when she was on the verge of climax. He added the final ingredient to drive her over the cliff into the pool of pleasure. How's this Anko-sama? Snake tongue jutsu. Suddenly Naruto buried his face into Anko's behind, and to her pleasure, his tongue reached everywhere. It even went several inches inside Anko. She grabbed the sheets from the immense waves of raw euphoria. OHYESS, YSSS, OHHHH, she screamed throughout the apartment, her body quivering in joy. She passed out on the spot. Anko-chan, sweet dreams, my love. He kissed her on her damp forehead, covered her up in blankets, undressed, and laid next to Anko, ready to fall into a sweet, peaceful slumber. Chapter 6. Date, unknown. Time, unknown. Location, unknown. A young girl woke up in a dark, metallic room. She coughed heavily as she looked around, confused, scared, and upset. Where am I? Last thing I remember, no, he wouldn't. Why would he do that? Something must be wrong, she thought. Suddenly, a blinding light shined throughout the room. It blinded the scared girl. Tisk, TSK, you're so confused, aren't you? Don't worry, the others felt just the same. Though I'd imagine some of your skill would have figured it out already. You disappoint me. A man spoke in an amused tone. What do you mean? I've always been good to you. Done everything you wanted. You can't do this to me. That is exactly why I can do this to you. You've exhausted your usefulness to me. There's one thing left I can do with you right now. No, not that. I've been a good student. I've been loyal to you from the beginning. She quivered in fear. Yes, but I'm afraid I have no more use for you. Now you'll be left aside, like the trash you are. Goodbye and good riddance, he said as he cast a hand seal and bit the girl's neck. No, she screamed in pain. June 21st. Mitarashi residence. Fiwa nachts. Enko shot up from the bed. She was in a cold sweat, her eyes tearing up from fear, her body in searing pain originating from the neck. She placed her hand on the source of the pain. A glowing mark consisting of a circle and 3 tomo burned bright red on her neck. She was breathing hard and heavy. The pain was paralyzing, but it subsided. All the commotion caused Naruto to awake. Enko-chan, what's wrong? He shot up when he saw her in stress. Enko didn't respond, which made Naruto worry more. He noticed the mark glowing on her. Enko-chan, what's wrong? Please, you're making me worry. Naruto placed a hand on her. Enko, now having the pain dissipate, responded, I had a nightmare. I'm okay, Naruto. Enko, I know something is wrong. You've been having this nightmare for weeks. I know that the glowing mark in your neck has something to do with it. He rubbed her sweat-covered back. I don't want to say. Enko looked down. Enko-chan, I can't stand to see you like this. Please, I know what I'm asking of is hard, but I needed to know so I can help you. You can't help me, Naruto. Enko spoke emotionless. Well, how do I know I can if you won't tell me? It's a curse mark, that's what's causing the pain. Orochimaru left on me as a parting gift when he abandoned me. He is a master of Fuinjutsu. Not even Lord Jiraiya could remove it. The things he did me, Naruto, Her eyes welled with tears. Sure, it's okay, my Enko-chan, I understand now. He consoled her and internally slapped himself for bringing back those memories. Enko now began to cry. She hit Naruto's shoulder and began to weep, her tears staining his t-shirt. There, Enko-chan, it's okay, I'm right here. He caressed her hair. Naruto-kun. She sobbed. Yes, Enko-chan, he responded. Promise you will never abandon me. Promise that you will never leave me. I swear on my life and name that I will never leave you, Enko, and I swear to you that send the Shinigami that bastard's head on a silver platter. Naruto held up his right hand. Then he's as good as dead, she chuckled. Yeah, he is. Rest now, we'll talk about it later in the morning. He comforted her. Thank you, Naruto. She quickly dozed off knowing that she was safe from all harm. Kursesel, oh, damn, I'll have to ask Gigi about that. Maybe he has some books about Fuinjutsu tucked away somewhere. But for now, I'll stay with you. I promise I'll cure you. He returned to her side, swiftly falling asleep due to her warmth and soothing smell. June 21st. Mitarashi residence. 9 morgens. Enko yawned and stretched her arms out. She awoke without the smell of breakfast in the air. No food. What? Has Naruto gone lazy or something? She questioned. She stood up and walked out of the bedroom. She found multiple Narutos, all reading large textbooks and jotting down notes in large journals. All of them about halfway done with their books. Naruto, what's this? What are you all reading that seems to more important than me? She whined. Oh, Enko-chan, I didn't see you there. I'm studying. Here, let me make you something to eat. The Naruto on the couch stood up, summoned another clone to take his place, and walked to the kitchen. What are you all studying? What for? She sat down at the table. Fuinjutsu, and because I want to. Really? Yep. You're telling me that you woke up early, probably 6 o'clock, went out to get multiple textbooks about Fuinjutsu, came back, summoned multiple clones to study them, and did for 3 hours straight? All because you wanted to. Absolutely. He served her plate. I wanted to code for. I did it for my beautiful Anko-chan who is suffering from the effects of a curse mark, and I want to remove it. Yes, it is. The other Narutos responded in unison. Naruto blushed and smirked, signifying that that was the truth. I knew it. Come here, you. She hugged him. Damn you guys. He sputtered. Hey, forget about them. Eyes here. Anko held his cheeks and turned his face toward her. Yeah, he questioned. I love you. She leaned her head on his shoulder. Me too. He nuzzled her. But don't you worry about it. I don't think anyone could remove it, not even Jiraiya-sama could. I wouldn't dismiss me just like that. You know what I can do when I set my mind to something. After all, you did fall for your own student. He smirked. I'm serious. This thing is one tough son of a bitch. You'd just be wasting your time. She looked down. If it's for you, no task is too great. So I'm going to fix up that curse mark for you. By the end of the year, you will no longer have to suffer from that cursed seal that has plagued you for years. Naruto swore to her. There you go again, taking on some impossible task like it's just a casual errand. Anko responded. Hey, it's what you signed up for, ain't it? Hee, I suppose so, she admitted. Naruto embraced his love in a kiss, caressing her hair and pinching her, but for good measure. Ow, perv, she hit him back. Ouch, hey. How would you like if I grabbed you down there just like that and squeezed? I don't normally swing that way, but if you want, I'm fine with that. You're impossible, you know that. But you still love me, don't you? Damn you. Yes, I still love you. Good, and I always will too. Now come here. Hey, look, the boss is gonna get lucky today. Hee, when the clones snickered. Can you dispel them, please? With pleasure, the clones vanished. Naruto went back on her lips, reveling in her sweet taste. He found himself getting more and more intoxicated from her embrace. Anko was enjoying herself too, having his little warm self snuggle up to her and promising to keep her safe, despite the fact he's still just a lowly genin. All right, that's it. We're taking the day off. I'll tell Hokage-sama we had a personal day. Anko said, besides, you probably did enough Fuinjutsu studying to count for the day. What are we going to do then? Naruto asked. I didn't really think about that part. You have any ideas? She admitted. Wait, I know. Let's go to that forest you always tell me about. Training ground 44, wasn't it? He popped up. Like a date. She questioned. Naruto's cheeks went a little red. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I never have gone out with you because we're always so busy, but this is the perfect time. Well, I guess it will work. No one goes there, so it should be quite private. She pointed her finger on her chin and looked up in a thinking pose. So how about it? He asked eagerly. Yeah, why not? She shrugged. All right, let's go. Hold on, bucko. We gotta get ready first. She smirked. Oh yeah, right. Well then, time's a-wastin'. He excitedly ran to the closet, picked out his outfit, and went to change. Anko did the same, picking out her own purple trench coat with an Uzumaki swirl on the back to pay homage to her student in love. She had been meaning to show it to him for a while, but never had the chance. What the hell? I'm sure he'll love it anyway, she thought. While Naruto was in the room, he summoned shadow clones and whispered orders to them. You got a boss. The clones fled out the window after they whispered back. June 21st. Forest of Death. 1:30 p.m. Both of them dressed casually with still some hints of their shinobi outfits, their coats, for example. As they left the apartment side by side, the two coats snake and swirl blue on the wind, creating quite the scene of badassery as they leapt from rooftop to rooftop. After a little while, they came up upon a fenced-off forest with danger signs posted all around. Anko looked reminiscent and said, On my home away from home. Welcome to Training Ground 44, the Forest of Death, Naruto. Forest of Death, huh? One enticing name. He responded cynically. Maybe, but this place has kept me safe longer than the village would have ever kept me. Anko responded. Yeah, I don't have to question you on that. Damn villagers. Let's go inside. The front gate was locked and was plastered with one final warning for would-be trespassers. Welp, if you've taught me anything, we should definitely go in there. Naruto pointed towards the sign. Maybe there's a secret treasure or something? No secret treasure, just forest, monsters, an old rickety tower, and a secret hot spring that only I know about. Anko admitted. Oh, really? Please tell me more about this hot spring. You'll see it soon enough. Let's go in. Anko unlocked the gate and let herself in. The two walked on the path, Anko telling stories about the Chunin exams hosted by the village from years before. This one was when I was young. The record holder for the fastest team to complete the Forest of Death belongs to one man. Just one guy. He was against whole teams and still was the fastest. Yeah, this guy was something else. Shame he isn't around anymore. Guy was a real asset to the village before he fled. He fled? What was his name? Itachi Uchiha. Him? I guess that makes sense. He killed his entire clan, and I've heard stories of him. Yeah, he was prodigy. Too bad he snapped and killed his family. Anko shrugged. They talked more as they continued to walk down the path. Naruto mentioned Sasuke and how he struggled with his family's death. They soon came upon an old tower. It seemed to be in the center of the entire forest. This is where we watched the genin during their exam. The place has monitors up the ass. There are cameras here? Oh yeah, we passed by 5 already. They're really well hidden, but the only place that doesn't have them is that tower. Oh really? Yeah, you want to see it? Yeah, sure, but I need to take a leak. I'll meet you inside, okay? P.S. Whatever. She walked in the tower. Naruto walked over to a tree and unzipped his pants. From behind the tree came a clone of Naruto. Good, you're finally here. Do you have the stuff? All sealed into this scroll. Just unseal it, and you can summon it when you funnel some chakra into it. Perfect, good work. No problem, boss. The clone turned into smoke. Naruto pocketed the scroll, zipped his pants back up, and made his way inside the tower. Must be great being able to go anywhere. Guys just have all the luck. Well, I mean, yeah, pretty much. He admitted. Well, this the main chamber. It's where the students open their scrolls when they arrive. Why is it so dark and gloomy? And that statue freaks me out. It meant to scare the shit out of genin who try to come in early and forfeit. Makes sense. Look, come with me. Let me show you the stadium. Stadium? Yeah, through here. She beckoned. They went through the main doorway into a well-lit stadium with 2 hands protruding from the front, making a hand seal. Wow, quite the place. Naruto guffawed. Yeah, too bad we don't use it much. Only when the number of genin that pass is too high and we need to call the numbers. What's saying we can't use it now? Naruto suggested. What do you mean? I mean, let's fight here and now. Funny. I love you, but I'll knock you flat on your ass in a second. You're still ways away from beating me. Care to back that up? How about a wager? If I beat you in the fight, you'll buy me ramen for a week. As if, when I win, I want you to buy me that ring I showed you the other day. You remember the price tag? Naruto gulped. That ring will completely empty out Gamachan. Well, I better not lose. Deal. He met her challenge. The two made their way to the opposite sides of the stadium. They stood each other down. They were both ready to throw down. Kunai at the ready, chakra warming up, and eyes locked. Go ahead, I'll let you make the first move. Anko bragged. All right, but I'll make you eat those words. Shadow, clone, jutsu. Multiple clones appeared from behind him. Not done yet. Now, summoning jutsu. Bosk appeared and then slid into Naruto's sleeve. Hello to the Naruto-sama. It seems you're facing Anko-sama. Might I suggest a paralysis poison? Yeah, I don't want to do any actual damage to her. He spoke to him. Understood. Naruto knows what Anko is capable of, so he wasted no time by sending clones to figure out her strategy. Instead, he rushed dead on with his clones. His attacks were perfectly synchronized with his clones. They looked almost beautiful, like they were in a choreographed dance. Despite the rapid attacks that seemed to have no end, Anko had no trouble blocking and dodging. She was actually able to dispel some clones with counterattacks as well. Anko was now on the offensive. She assumed that the real Naruto was in the back safe from harm. Multiple striking shadow snakes. She shouted as snakes launched from under her sleeves and uppercut the Narutos in her immediate vicinity, sending them flying upward. After that, only one Naruto remained, the one in the back. Now I got you. Shadow snake hands. She constricted Naruto and held him tightly. I win. Hope you got your wallet with you. Naruto just grinned and tried to speak, but couldn't due to the snakes holding him. What are you smiling about? Tell me. Anko loosened her grip. I win, was all he said before he dissipated into smoke. What the dash? Now, spurted out the real Naruto as he placed his hand on Anko's shoulder and letting Bosk slithered onto her neck and injected her with a poison from his fangs. Gotcha. Nice one, Bosk. Bosk quickly returned to Naruto's side after poisoning Anko. Anko held her neck where she was bitten and fell to one knee. Looks like that's it. PSSH, you made a pretty dumb mistake. What? What do you mean? I've been around snakes my whole life. You didn't think I would have built an immunity to their venom? Well, now that you say it, it does make sense. Really? Well, it doesn't matter now. Your ass is mine. She rushed him. Oh shit. He cursed and attempted to dodge, but was grabbed by Anko. Oh no, you're not going anywhere. Anko pulled him back and began use consecutive taijutsu strikes on him. He attempted to counter or dodge, but felt himself diminish with every hit. The air was cracking from the speed of the attacks. The severity of them became increasing more strong too. They created bruises on Naruto's body. The final hit from Anko was the right hook to the face. The attack completely spun Naruto around a full 360. Gao! He fell flat on the ground face first. Naruto, you okay? I think I went a little too far there. You think? He responded as he got up. Oh hey, you're still conscious. Here, let me help you. All right, looks like I won that. You ready to buy me that new ring? Don't remind me. I get it for you later, promise, but right now I need a bath. I stink. Yeah, me too. These floors have so much dirt and grime on them. Hey, let's go to the hot springs. We can wash up there. Sounds good. Wait, are there any cameras up there? Hey, no, I disabled all of them there a long time ago. Okay, sweet. Just wanted to be sure. And so, they left the battleground, Anko the clear winner. I may have lost, but now my plan can be set into motion. He smiled despite his defeat. What are you smiling about? Anko asked. Oh, nothing. He responded. Whatever, Anko rolled her eyes. 5 minutes later. As they arrived to the spring, a mysterious ninja landed on a branch and proceeded to watch the two strip and enter the spring. There you are, with your student no less. Not just a student, it seems, as I highly doubt this would be a team exercise. Naruto cleaned himself off, all the while relaxing in the water and enjoying the view of his love as well. He drifted into a sleepy daze, letting himself float towards Anko. What are you doing? She asked. Enjoying the steady stream of life. That's what, Naruto replied without a care in the world. Haha, see how you like this? Anko jumped onto Naruto's floating body, causing him to be submerged rapidly. What the dash? Anko, he gurgled from the water, entering his mouth. What about now? Not so steady anymore. That's like you're mine. Naruto rushed her and flipped with her underwater. The two came back up laughing and giggling like children. They began splash each other with water and play like kids. Ha 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 ha. They both died of laughter playing with each other. And then suddenly, silence. They stared into each other's eyes. Naruto then blushed immensely looking at the pretty girl that he was lucky enough to call his girlfriend. And she was right there, wide-eyed, getting some pink hue as well from coming to a similar realization. They just smiled lovingly before embracing each other in water. They held each other tightly. Naruto began to purr from Anko caressing his cheek. Naruto pulled back and broke the silence. I love you. You know that? I would die for you. I wouldn't let you, but I appreciate the sentiment. That's one of the reasons why I love you. Classic Anko. Well, thank you, you flatter me. Come on, let's get dry. I want to show you something. Oh, really? Surprise it is then. The two exit the spring and go to dry off. Anko tried to pry and get Naruto to say what the surprise was, but Naruto didn't say a word. All right, we're dry now. What do you have in store for me? Okay, here it comes. Come on out, guys. Suddenly, the shadow clones he summoned appeared from the trees. You got everything? All here, boss. The clones replied. Perfect. Use the scrolls. What's this, Naruto? It's a little something I thought of this morning. The clones unfurled scrolls in their hands. They then made a hand seal that conjured a perfect picnic lunch. For you, a meal made and prepped and warm just for you. The table is set. Please sit. Naruto spoke in polite tone, like a servant. How did you do this? Summoning something is one thing, but keeping food preserved in freshly cooked state is an entire realm itself. Did you learn how to do this in the time you were up this morning? A shocked and proud Anko guffawed. Yes and yes. Now, please sit down. It's going to get cold if you keep gawking. Okay, geez. Wait, is this my cami? This is incredible. I had it specially made with ingredients my clones got. Quite the thing, isn't it? Yeah, can I dig in? Please. Yeah, sure, go ahead, please. Anko went to town on her dango, leaving no stick unturned. Unbeknownst to her and Naruto, a certain ninja is about to make a venomous appearance. Anko felt a burning sensation at her neck. She looked around nervously and began to sweat. She flipped the table and drew a kunai. Anko, what's wrong? I feel a presence I have not felt since. Him. The ninja jumped from a tree. Machem. Ah, Anko-chan, how are you, my dear? It's been too long, hasn't it? Anko rushed to Naruto's side to protect him. We're doing here, you bastard. Now, that's no way to treat your former master. Go to hell, you damn freak. You're gonna pay for what you did to Anko. Naruto entered a combat stance. I see your student has adopted your cheery disposition. Well, I'm glad you have taught him something. A failed student makes for horrible master, as they say. He spoke. Then I'm surprised that you became Anko's master in the first place, considering you're a failed student as well. Naruto struck with his venom. Orochimaru hissed, this one is annoying me, so I'll make it quick. I'm going to take the Nine-Tails brat back with me. I need you for my experiments. Never. You won't take the only thing I have left. Anko's rage grew tenfold. Sensei, what's the plan? We gonna fight? Naruto started calculating. No, you need to get out of here, alert the Hokage and others. Go, Anko commanded. No way. I'm not leaving you with this freak. I'll send a shadow clone. They can get help. No, I want you gone now. Leave him with me. I can't risk you being taken. You're the Nine-Tails, Jinchuriki, and Dash. And I'm too important to the village? I'm sick of having the fox ruling over life. Remember what I said, I would die for you. I'm going to stand by you till the end. Got it? He shouted as red chakra enveloped him. No offense, Kurama. You understand, right? Yes, I remember a time where I felt the same about myself, long ago. But no time for that. Here is your chakra. Be careful, this one is powerful. I can feel it. Don't worry, this motherfucker won't land a scratch on me. Anko understood that Naruto wasn't going anywhere, despite her order. This made her nervous. Too much is on the line on a bet with bad odds. She wasn't planning on arguing, as that would leave them open, but she would definitely kick his ass later for not following a direct order and making her worry. She would just hope for the best. June 21st. Hokage Mansion. 2:30 p.m. Old Sarutobi sat in his chair, content and relaxing. Ever since Naruto made the revelation that the Shadow Clone Jutsu is more than just a combat technique, his life was made a lot easier. He's had time to relax, visit the aspiring shinobi of the academy, and had more time to listen in on village problems. He even read up on current techniques to further his title of the shinobi professor. He was taking a drag on his pipe when a panicked Naruto burst through his door. What the dash? Naruto, what's wrong? He asked intently. Gigi, I'm a shadow clone. Listen up. Orochimaru is here, and he's trying to take the boss to get to the Nine Tails. You got to come to the hot springs in Training Ground 44 quick. What? Damn. Up, guards. Multiple Umbu appeared before the Hokage. Yes, sir, they shouted in unison. I want the three of you to go get Kakashi and bring him to the field. Yes, sir. The three closest to him responded and vanished. The rest of you with me. I'm going to finish what I started years ago. The old man shouted as he disappeared along with his Umbu entourage. June 21st. Forest of Death. 2:32. There had been a stare down between Orochimaru and the student-sensei duo. Naruto broke the silence. Sensei, help is on the way. We just need to hold on. Gotcha. Now let's bring the pain to this motherfucker. Anko feigned confidence. Kukuku, fine. Bring your best. Orochimaru laughed. Naruto, along with Anko, charged him. A mass of shadow clones appeared behind Naruto and Anko. All of them came from Naruto, but some were disguised as Anko. Orochimaru dodged their attacks effortlessly. Is this all you have? You disappoint me. He laughed. I haven't even warmed up yet. Naruto shouted. Kurama, we need to go even further beyond. Power me up. All right, but I'm gonna need to take over. And it's gonna hurt Kid. It doesn't matter. I need to kill him for what he did to Anko. Understood. The Bijou felt excited to be released, even for a little while. The red chakra cloak became darker. It appeared as if his skin was being peeled off, revealing his body. His eyes turned into white orbs of hate and malice. His cloak tailed solidified, and 8 more appeared for a total of 9. A skeletal helmet formed on his head, followed by the rest of the skeleton forming an armor on his back. Gah! He screamed in pain. What's happening, the Nine Tails? Did he let it loose? Anko stared in awe of the raw power forming and in increasing amounts of worry. Letting the demon loose already? Good. I would love to see your powers firsthand. Naruto attacked head-on with immense speed and fury. Orochimaru could only dodge the sharpened claws as the blitzed towards him. The snake Sannin soon grew tired of dodging. He attempted to attack the living demon, and upon impact, the punch was effortlessly blocked and his hand was burned severely. Ack, not bad. The boy could perhaps do some damage. I need to end this. Kusanagi, Orochimaru shouted as a sword emerged from his mouth into his hand, and with a quick dodge, he swiftly ran through Naruto with the sword, impaling him. Not good enough, you're mine. He laughed. Naruto, no. Anko cried. The demon recoiled back from the pain. But he wasn't done, not by a long shot. Limbs emerged from the demon's body. Then they wrapped around Orochimaru while the blade was still inside him. The limbs multiplied and further kept the snake locked in a bear hug. Then Naruto's maw opened. Blue and black particles appeared around him, and they manifested into an orb that grew continuously. Orochimaru, being burnt from the close proximity, attempted to free himself, but with no luck. It wasn't until Orochimaru raised his head and opened his mouth in order for Orochimaru to shed his skin and emerge fresh. Just as he barely escaped from his body, the orb was swallowed by Naruto, and beam burst from his mouth that completely disintegrated Orochimaru's old body, turning into ash. Naruto, after destroying the shed skin, he returned the limbs he grew back into his body and drew the sword inside him. He once again wailed in pain when the sword was violently pulled out and thrown aside, but it soon subsided when the gaping hole in his stomach rapidly closed and cauterized shut. Anko was shaking. Watching her love getting stabbed by her worst enemy royally shook her up. She was paralyzed. Her fear grew more. Her memories of the abuse and torment she suffered at the hands of that man came flooding back. Pain crept up on her neck, and she became limp. It was then she realized it was too late. Orochimaru silently beckoned the sword to return to him, and as the sword flew to him, he grabbed Anko and held the sword to her neck. Listen close, boy. I know you can see this through your eyes. I will say this once. Surrender yourself to me, or your sensei dies to my blade. Orochimaru shouted with rage. Naruto, viewing the situation though Kurama in his mindscape went cold. He immediately went to fight the Kyuubi chakra to submit. Naruto, what are you doing? Can't you see this is what he wants? Once you're no longer a threat, he'll kill her and take you. Still, I have to try. She can't die. She can't. She's too good to die. She has friends like Kurenai-sensei. I have no one. You idiot. You have her. And she has you. Can't you see? Kurama pleaded. I'm sorry, Kurama. I really am. Naruto said. Naruto fell to his knees. The cloak faded away, leaving him with red skin, as if he was submerged in fire. Fine, you win. Leave her and take me. Naruto sulked. Naruto, don't. Run now. Leave me. Anko pleaded with him. I'm sorry, Anko-chan. I love you. Please don't forget that. Naruto shed a tear. Orochimaru used a jutsu to tie Anko up with snakes. He walked over to him, placed his hand on his shoulder. I feel your hate. Don't worry. You'll be loyal to me with enough time. He chuckled. Damn you. He sneered. Anko began to cry. No. Why? Damn it. I'm useless. I can't even protect him. She teared up. Get away from him, you bastard. Anko yelled through her tears. Don't you dare touch him. Hee. Well, I'd say we best make our leave. Right, Naruto-kun? Orochimaru used the same jutsu he used on Anko to capture him. As he picked up his prize, a loud shout rang out that made even Orochimaru flinch. Orochimaru, it's not over yet. As he turned to meet the familiar voice, several Umbu Black Ops surrounded Orochimaru. Ah, Sensei, so nice of you to visit. It's a shame I was just leaving. Not with him. I'm going to finish what I've started all those years ago. While I'd love to play, I must be going goodbye. But before he could even move an attack, swooped him from below. Earth-style, tracking Fong Jutsu. A masked ninja shouted as 8 ninja hounds emerged from the ground and bit into the snake Sannin, locking him into place. Then came again from the same ninja, Lightning Blade. A symphony of what seems to be birds chirping was heard as the ninja rushed to impale Orochimaru with a fist of lightning. He almost succeeded too, if it hadn't been for Orochimaru turning into a mass of snakes and slithering up the nearest tree and onto a branch. Oh, well, it seems I have to let go of you for now, Naruto. Such a shame. He fled the scene with high speeds. Umbu, give chase. I want him dead. Old Sarutobi turned serious. It startled Naruto on how stern the man had become. Yes, sir. The Umbu flickered away to follow him, leaving only Kakashi and the Hokage along with Naruto and Anko still tied with snakes. Here, let me get you free, Kakashi said to Naruto. Allow me, the Hokage spoke to Anko. When they were both free, their eyes locked and tears flowed. Anko in particular, she ran to him and hugged him. I was so scared. I'm so glad you're okay, Naruto. She cried into his shoulder. It's okay. I'm here now. I promise I won't leave you ever. Thanks, Sniff, thank you, she then whispered. I love you so much. I know, he assured her. But don't you ever disobey me like that ever again. You hear me, Uzumaki? She yelled into his ear. Ow, yes. Yes, I hear you. But after that, I don't think I can hear out of that ear anymore. He winced. Makes sense now. No wonder he had no interest in Sakura. His new infatuation is with his teacher. But it doesn't seem to be one-sided, though. Anko has never shown such emotion when someone's life is in danger. She would always bottle up her emotions and work through it, either with a bottle or by violently breaking the unlucky sod who was captured by us. You better be good to her, Naruto. She deserves someone perfect after what she's been through. Kakashi smiled inwardly, glad that his friend found someone to cry to. Kakashi, go assist the young Buu in tracking him. You have the best nose in the village, the Hokage said. He was thinking as well. He wondered how he could have gotten in without anyone noticing. Of course, Kakashi flickered away. Now for you two lovebirds, go to Konoha General. Once you're cleared, go home and take a rest for a few days. Understood. Naruto and Anko went red. Now exposed, Naruto asked, how did you know? I've had my suspicions for a while now, but they were confirmed after little outbursts there. Anko went even redder. Naruto interjected, so you don't care that I'm Dash? No, of course not. You're a shinobi, my boy. You're free to love whomever you want. I knew several who did the same as you. Really? No, but it's still perfectly fine. Oh. Listen, what matters is that you have each other. No one can take that away from you. Cherish it. Life as a shinobi is dangerous, and you can lose each other at a moment's notice, as evident by today's events. So let no one drift you apart, the wise man spoke. Thanks, Gigi, means a lot to me. You're welcome, my boy. Now, get going. I want you in tip-top shape as soon as possible. Okay, come on, Anko. He stood up and offered his hand. June 21st. Mitarashi Residence. 10 p.m. The day was coming to an end for the shinobi pair as they retired to their home. They had visited the hospital as the Hokage requested. The trip lasted multiple hours due to Anko being placed in observation due to her close proximity to Orochimaru during the fight. Naruto stayed with her for the whole duration and only left to bring some comfort dango to his one and only. She remained in shock and was set off easy. After which, there was still some daylight hours left, so Naruto had tried to cheer her up by going to buy her the ring that he owed her. She was elated and overjoyed, but in her mind lay the memories of years of torment, abuse, and betrayal. They finally meet their door and enter the apartment. Home, sweet home, Naruto yawned. Anko remained silent. She went to her bedroom to change, shutting the door behind her. Damn, she's still upset about everything that happened today. I can't blame her. I was an idiot going off like that, so high and mighty. There was no way I could take one to Sannin on my own. I caused this. Really, if I hadn't suggested the Forest of Death, we would stayed in the village, nearby, to shinobi who can help. I'm just gah. Damn it. He clenched his fist. Anko emerged from the room, just in time to end his monologue with, you gonna change? Huh? Oh yeah. He responded. Come on then. She continued. And so he did. He changed into his sleepwear. He picked out his cute hat that he wore once in hopes to get a chuckle out of Anko. Ta-da. You remember this? Naruto smiled. Anko couldn't help but smirk, but then a wicked idea came into her head. Ah, that's so cute. She cocked her head. Well, I'm glad you smiled. Come here, you cute thing, you. She hugged and squeezed the life out of him. Oh, Cammy, too tight. Too tight. Naruto puffed. You made me very worried today, you know? You need to be punished for that. She spoke in a creepy sing-song voice. Okay, go ahead. Naruto frowned, but accepted his fate. Well, there's nothing you can do. What did you just say? Go ahead, do what you like. You're not going to even try to fight back, say no? No, I disobeyed a direct order from you and got you captured by that bastard, plus you almost lost me, which would have killed you. I didn't think ahead and got into that mess. I deserve it, so please just do it. He shut his eyes. Anko took a step back. She looked down at herself in disgust, in shame. Was she about to hurt someone that loved her? Because he put his life on the line for her? What are you doing, Mitarashi? Pull yourself together. Don't turn into that bastard. Don't say that. Please don't say that. You don't deserve any of that. You made a mistake, that's it. It's okay. I'm sorry for saying that. Примешулден da. It's okay. I forgive you. Let's just go to bed and forget about it. Okay. Tomorrow is a new day. Agreed? Agreed. I love you. I love you too.